Yeah, we're showing us live on YouTube now.
Word. Alrighty.
Just welcome to
So
our live show.
you can filler. Well, I'm gonna see if I can adjust that on the back end because I feel like every time I start like a live, I change the name, but then when it goes right to YouTube, it does not adjust. So I don't know if I can change it. I don't know if I can change it while we're doing it, but let's see. See. So we are live. We are gonna kind of putz around for a little bit. We gotta put this thing out on the socials real quick, and then we kind of start discussing some stuff.
We've never been known to do things in order, so just everybody
God
bear
knows
with
they
us
know
for a
that.
minute.
They know that.
My camera doesn't want to focus tonight. I gotta get myself more light. I need one of those stupid ring lights or whatever.
Yeah, I got
Like what
I
them
might have
young
an
kids are
extra.
using nowadays.
I might have an extra something. Let's see that. Let me do the thumbnail, you stupid bastard. There we go. See, I kind of got the stuff lined up. It just wasn't, doesn't automatically go. There we go. Now we got a special little picture up. Now it's like kind of official. Well, it's nothing crazy, but it'll do the trick. Yeah, dismiss that. Don't care about that. Let's see how we're looking.
Yeah,
No, I don't want to go to
now it looks more
u.com.
professional.
All right, it went through. All right,
Yeah, I can see it.
perfect. All righty. It is always madness starting these things up.
Well, we've already got 13 in here according to YouTube,
What?
so
Whoa!
got a few
Well, that
people.
was quick. That was quick. Yeah, it is legit. It's yeah, okay, that's working. Let me just post this out onto our socials as well, just so that way we can make sure everyone gets here. And thank you so much for showing up already. This is we haven't done a live in a while, and I really miss these things because the episodes are fun, but this way we can kind of talk like real time to people, which I think is just like as about as good as it's gonna get until we're back actually at Horror Nights
Right?
talking. Oh, oh yeah, get some
Double O
GoldenEye.
Seven music, GoldenEye music. If we're gonna get copyright struck, don't do that. Come
I
on
put that
now,
on our Instagram post. I was like, I don't know why it suggested it, but I'm just gonna go with it. But
because
this is
that's
how it's how
fire.
it's how creepy phones are. I think it's because I was watching the Rewatchables, the podcast, or listening to them, and this week they did GoldenEye. So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
That's the Bill Simmons movie podcast for those who don't frequent
Yes, if you
other
know.
podcasts.
Yeah, if you like movie podcasts, watch or listen to that one. It's on Netflix now. Just fucking insane.
The people would like to know where Jamie is, so I'm gonna leave that
So
to you to answer that because she doesn't live with
Jamie
me.
is in the other room right now. There is one of the biggest conventions in town right now, and if you guys don't know, we work right at Top Golf across from the convention center. So when it's busy there, we're crazy. And I think it's like the Home Builders Association, and there was about 100,000 people in town. We both worked this morning. I got out a little earlier. She got stuck in traffic. We live about 15 minutes on a good day from Topgolf. It took her over an hour to get home on iDrive to go about 6 miles. So she didn't get home till like 7:30, and she was not feeling it as much as she thought she was going to when we decided on a whim to go live. So let's see what we got. I gotta go through these comments because I've been avoiding stuff. So welcome back, welcome back. I gotta figure this whole. This is all crazy. I gotta figure out how to show the comments. I remember I used to. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're getting there. I'm figuring this thing out. It's like riding a
Oh,
bike,
we have
Mothman.
look at you. We're like a
Oh, look at
regular
that.
stream now.
It's
That's
crazy.
weird.
Yeah. So we already went over the Jamie. Crystal, thank you for making it. A little live stream. I know these are tricky to make. Usually we do them later on and just random days. I want to do more live streams, but I also like I don't want to do the same thing twice. So I don't want to like, and this will kind of be that because we'll talk spec map later on, probably in a couple weeks. Because if you didn't listen yet to last week's episode, it is Seamus's brainchild. But this was one of my favorite ones that we've done, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback on that. Being like, oh, like there was one YouTube comment like, oh man, I could sense your enthusiasm. Like Seamus, like just couldn't stop. Like he was just so into it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like it's fun to branch out into the horror movie stuff a little bit. So if you haven't checked that out, it is. Do you want to kind of give them the rundown of what it was and
Yeah, if you haven't watched the video yet, it is part one of a part deux uh, episode. The idea essentially is I provide four of my favorite horror movies from each year from the year 2000 till 2025, and then we have to battle it out to the death over which movie gets to stay, and the other three get sent into the pit of despair from Toy Story 3. So that's what we decided to do. I enjoy this type of thing. It's not really my idea. I stole it. I've stolen it from other people.
no,
So
it's our idea. It's your idea.
just
Fuck them.
I haven't seen too many people do it for movies, so I was like, why don't we do it for movies? We can be that channel that does that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it. So this Friday, will be our part deux coming out about from years 2011 to 2025. So hopefully that won't take 3 hours, but you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. There's always time. Yeah, YouTube may still be down. I don't know why. It might have been
YouTube
down.
was yeah,
It
YouTube was
was
down for a little bit tonight, but it seems to be back up. So
okay.
hopefully there's no major issues.
Off and running then, it seems like. Spec season is like just on the cusp. I know like we're in it, but like it feels like because all right, so we had the speculation map at Christmas time. And that was kind of just like a fun, goofy, whatever. Um, and this one was like a Friday the 13th drop. So they haven't really done like a V1, like an official. I feel like these have just been like goofy, funny little things. Obviously, it's still using the current rumors and stuff, but I feel like that version one is when I start to take spec talk a little bit more serious because it is still early. It's a lot of stuff is going to change. So I take all these rumors with a heavy grain of salt just because you never know. It's things are going to change. That's for sure.
Yep.
Uh, looks like YouTube is back up. So hopefully people keep finding their way. Oh, he won an award. Oh, great. Tell them not to come to Top Golf. We're busy. No, no.
Avoid the golf course.
Yeah, there's
Or
about
well, sorry,
fucking
not the golf course, the driving range.
yeah,
Excuse me.
whatever it is. It's a fucking 4 hour wait every day this week. So I've just been getting our shit rocked, and I got tomorrow off, so I got a 12 pack of Bud Light. So that's what's tonight's gonna be.
I gotta pull up this spec
Don't
map
want to talk early, but just saying, I think we're
'cause
getting classic Monsters house this year again. You never know.
maybe you
It's
never
been a little bit.
know.
I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, I think I was listening to an old Catacombs episode, and they were going over some past stuff, and they were talking about monsters. I think I might have listened to like the 30 recap or something. Shout out Catacombs, the OGs, the homies. But it got me thinking. I was like, it has like I don't know if I'm exactly at that itch mark yet, but I am starting to be like, I think we're kind of missing one. Like we're missing something from Horror Nights, and I feel like that could be one of those things that I'm kind of missing already. So it's got to be back at some point. So I don't know if it'll be this year or next year. Maybe one more year off will actually like get me very excited. And I know, the big thing is Creature. I've kind of always wanted that. We've always wanted that, but I feel like I'm just kind of past that point now. I need to see it there, but I don't believe it'll be there. I just think it'll be too much of a logistical nightmare. Oh, every time I go to show a comment, it bumps down to the bottom, so I have to keep
Oh,
scrolling
you have to
back
do
up.
that manually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh
oh,
yeah.
that's annoying.
Yeah. I
I
have
thought
to
you'd be
click
able
on
to
each
like.
one.
I thought you might be able to actually just like have it come up automatically, but
No, because I never know when. Yeah, it just when they come up, they're just. I you have to. You have to scroll through them, but it bumps me to the bottom every time there's a new comment, and we get both of them, Facebook and YouTube. I think all come right here to us, so it's
Yeah.
always it's like a gunslinger mode. I gotta get it real quick. Yeah, we are back, and this is gonna be peak. We got an anniversary year. We're at 35. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time. It is throwing me off because I have YouTube open on a different monitor, and it's behind. So I see me or Seamus talking, and I was like, I don't hear what's going on.
Yeah, that's why I just have it up for the chat, so I scroll the video down because it throws me off. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to like I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of
Yeah,
annoying to see like my face turn, and then I'm like,
yeah. Might
that's
be an
weird.
overlay of Monsters at Dead Coconut. I wouldn't hate it. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Would you prefer classic Monsters or Dark Universe style? It's kind of like two different vibes right there. I feel like if you want to do something to get people at Epic, you got to rock what they're putting out over there. But I'd like to see the classics. Ooh, the giant group episodes. I miss those. I miss that so much. I'm gonna have to get on Matt and Hunter and make sure we don't miss that this year, because those are fun. Those are a battle. So we'll try and get something going. We'll put something in motion. I had a cool little idea that kind of combined fantasy spec maps with the episodes that we've been doing for the horror movies with Seamus. So kind of like a little group project battle scenario. So we'll see. Just give us Gilman instead of recycling. I agree.
I
I
agree
I
100%.
I hope and wish that they will, but you never know. I think the water, that's the trickiest part of like a Gilman house is just having that much water effects in a house. Obviously, we had Terrifier with a pretty gnarly water effect last year, and we saw that definitely was affected. They had to play with it a little bit. So I don't know how they would do it. And they get paid a lot more than me, so that's for sure. Let's keep going through these comments before we kind of dive into the spec map, which I promise we will, but there is, there's time to kind of get settled. Think they won't get monsters until next year or maybe 37. I'm in that boat as well. I think we're skipping them again this year, and I think 36 like coming after an anniversary year would be a good year to like kind of pull them back. The dust is settled on all the, whatever old HHN lore pops up at the anniversary event, and they can kind of just be like, "Oh, remember these guys?" That's another kind of hit. It's something good to keep in their back pocket, right? Like if they do have like something drop a little bit more last minute or what, this one always plays. Like we can figure something out.
Right.
So that would be a good one. Best horror movies. Thank you. That was a very fun episode. I'm ready to do part two. Plus, I love the little dog picture. It kind of looks like a dachshund. I can't tell because it's a little small, but it's approved if it is. That's for sure. Hell, everyone's all about the creature love. Everyone is, us included. It's just tough. Just tough. Um, Great night to announce 100 Days to Fear and Beer Trivia Night. Ooh, maybe. Maybe, just maybe. No, Trivia Night will absolutely be happening. You heard it here first. Dates are up in the air right now. Once we get a little closer, we can nail it down. I do know that on the exact, I was mad but not mad, on the exact date that we have it, May 20th, which is 100 days till HHN and our anniversary, we did sell at Topgolf a full venue buyout, so the place will be completely.
Huh. Uh-oh. Oh, we lost him. Well, it sounds like they sold a buyout, which basically means somebody bought the whole damn thing out, and it's probably somebody important, which means they're gonna be there for probably like ridiculously long days. So I don't envy him one bit, especially if he's working it. Uh but hopefully he comes back soon because I was not prepared to vamp all alone tonight. So
Sorry, I
is he
dropped. I don't know
back?
what happened. That was
Okay,
weird.
good. Because I was not prepared to vamp all by myself. I was
Um,
not prepared for that.
yeah, no, neither was I. Yeah, I don't know. The internet's a little dicey sometimes, but
It's that
I guess
YouTube
that's
algorithm coming to get us.
It's a good time that I can good little troubleshoot right now. Yeah, and you're solo on my YouTube now. Perfect. Trivia. It will happen. Dates will get ironed out, and we'll let you know as soon as we can. I also got some really cool stuff planned in the future, so we shall see what's happening. But trivia will be a go. That is for sure. Work has already been very adamant. They want me. They want us all back. They want that place packed. So keep your eyes and ears open. We will be announcing that hopefully sooner rather than later. But again, it comes down to when we can kind of for sure know that we have the space available for us.
Yeah, you mean just basically the entire upstairs bar because we take up the entire damn lobby,
Yeah. Yes.
which I guess isn't a bad thing.
No. They people want us to stream some horror games? They do have a new Hellraiser game coming out. I haven't seen much about it. I don't know if you
Is it
have.
supposed to? No, I haven't. But is it supposed to be like another one of like the Texas Chainsaw, Dead by Daylight, or not? Is that what that? I don't know. I'm getting him mixed
No,
up.
that's the same. It's kind of the same thing, like with Killer
Yeah,
Clowns and stuff like that.
figured it is. They all kind of like follow a trend. I would like to play the new Resident Evil. So I do have a streaming channel. I don't use it very often because I don't have any followers. But I've thought about maybe combining it with this
Yeah,
whole Fear and Beer project and maybe doing some Fear and Beer streams and streaming some horror stuff if anybody's interested. So if that's a thing people want to see, then
let
we'll
us know.
definitely look at
Let us know in the comments.
putting it together.
It looks like Hellraiser Revival is a first-person, single-player survival
Oh,
horror game
never mind. I
where
was
you
wrong.
play as Aiden, who must use a puzzle box to save his girlfriend from these Cenobites.
That actually might be pretty cool.
And it's voiced by Doug Bradley, so he's back
Yeah.
voice performing as Hellraiser or Pinhead. Sorry. That's interesting. I'd be down to play that. I really don't play a lot of like games in general. I play fucking
I
NCAA
do.
and stupid stuff like that. But
I just put
yeah,
I've just put 40 hours into Borderlands 4 in the last day and a half, so
yeah, it's I don't know. I just don't. I
I'm a
could get into
nerd.
streaming, but then everybody would laugh at how terrible I am at video games. I like the storylines.
I'm not good. I don't stream because I'm good. I stream because I get scared like a baby playing scary games and get mad at shooters. So
Yeah. Oh, we got Seamus. Look at Seamus carrying when I was out.
carrying.
Let's see if that shows all this. Yes. Anniversary year, some old school houses. I hope so. I remember
Love to see
the
it.
early, and I know this hasn't been spec'd at all, but I know early spec for 30 back before it got canceled was a Dungeon of Terror house, which was like the first house at Horror Nights. So that'd be
Yeah.
cool to see something that like I couldn't ever possibly see. So we'll see. All right, Stranger Things coming back,
Oh, we'll
possibly.
get there.
We'll get into the map. I think it's about time now. We're pretty much caught up on these
Yeah, I think we
comments.
can probably just go ahead and
New Halloween game supposed to be there. Okay, so there is a Halloween game coming out that's like Dead by Daylight, but Hellraiser is a single player. So interesting. Alrighty, let's see if I can pull up this map as well on the screen for everybody. There is a way. To... All right.
ooh,
I think I'm doing it. Did I do it right? Yep,
it's
that should.
showing. I can see it. I don't see my
You got
face
it.
no more, but I can see
Okay.
the map.
All right. That should be loaded up now. Cool. All right. This is a little bit easier. I don't know if. Oh, can I? Oh, I can. You can see my mouse. If I was smart, I'd know how to zoom in on these little things, but I'm not, and I haven't taken the time to learn that stuff yet. So I'll just leave that up, and I will kind of zoom in on my own end just so I can see exactly what's going on in this thing. So let's just start like we normally do. We're walking in through the park. Scare zones are shown. We'll just do the scare zones first because that's the easiest. It has the locations, but they have like a little machete, obviously being a little cheeky with the whole Friday the 13th thing. But for me, that's zero indicator of anything that will be there. It's just kind of a placeholder. So we are with 4 scare zones again listed, omitting San Francisco. Now, I did put this out on the post today, but if you zoom in and zoom, it's very teeny tiny, but you can tell by the locations what these things might be. So there is what looks to be like a shoe or a roller skate right where the Mel's Dying Zombies was. So that's an indicator that that will be back. If you're watching on YouTube, it's this little like black icon right there. The other little icon over in San Francisco does look like a person wearing headphones or headphones, so sort of indicating that DJ Club Horror Zone back in action. And then over in Springfield is even smaller. Does look like a little chainsaw icon. So it seems like a very similar layout streetwise as last year. So I mean, that's a good indicator, Seamus. I think we were both pretty big advocates for both of those. I really enjoyed Mel's and I really enjoyed Club Horror.
Yeah,
Chainsaws, take it or leave it, but they at least have a home.
well, you know how everybody knows my feelings on chainsaws. But yeah, I think they were a great diversion. And I've been saying for a couple of years now that they need more diversions than just, the houses, because unfortunately, obviously, I don't think it did a ton for the waits, because there were certain nights there we went and it was like, holy shit, where did all these people come from?
Yeah.
But I think just having something different to do helps the event as a whole. So I don't think that it's a bad thing that they're bringing them back. I do hope that they, switch up the music a little bit in Club Horror if they bring it back. I'm not saying get rid of all the dance music, but maybe do some different things, some additional things. I think we talked about it in our post event episodes where it's like, why don't you do some like Halloween party vibes and make it feel more like a Halloween party, and having like more Halloween based music, or at least music that you would hear at a Halloween party, then rather than just your traditional dance music. But I mean, I'm not opposed to either of them coming back. So
No, I'd be happy for Club Horror. It's I'm not a clubby kind of person or whatever, but it was a good, if not
I'm
great,
too old to be
spot
clubbing.
to grab a beer and just kind of relax. Like it was less clubby and more just vibey. Like not that I expected people to be rolling up for the high heels and stuff like that and going out clubbing, but
I would
I
prefer
enjoyed it.
if they maybe added some addition, like put some more additional, like scare actors or universal based event people. You know what I mean? Like rather than just like the standard dancers on the stage thing. Like I feel like you should have some more like scare actors that you would have in a traditional scare zone, but theme it to Club Horror and
Yeah.
make it kind of feel more like a party.
hmm
But that's just my selfish opinion.
Take the, like, was it last year? Whatever the sorority thing at Dead Coconut Club, just make it like a
Yeah,
college party
and
atmosphere.
I really liked that. Like I think like do something like that, but do it in that scare zone or
Yeah,
that zone.
I would have characters like also walking around like red solo cups, like dead party goers. You make some like fake college logos, put them in the shirts like that. So I like um I like that. I think there needs to be a little something different in there, but I enjoyed it. Most nights it was like, let's just go get a beer there and wait out some of these times because I'd rather hang out in Club Horror for an hour and drink like for a little bit versus just standing in line for an hour. Especially when it's like, like we go all the time. So it's not a necessity to check the boxes of every house every night that we go.
Yeah.
Some nights I want to just hang out and relax. Now it's now that's like there's a spot for that. And I'm trying to find this other comment because I completely agreed. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. Um, it's a better utilization of that space for the PV scare zones. I
100%.
couldn't agree more. It's when you have a limited space like that and you do want to have a lot of those set pieces, it definitely creates that blockage. And this I thought was going to also have the same issue. I thought people were going to be stopping and messing around and really like causing a scene. That really only happened when art came out. But other than that, people more or less just walked one way or the other, and then the back area with the chairs and the bar was kind of like a little bit of a breathing spot. So
Yeah.
I was good with that.
Yeah, I think there may have been a couple of nights where it felt a little choked with people, but it never bad enough that I was like, man, I just can't stand it here. I don't know why,
Yeah.
there's so many people. And the thing is like it's kind of annoying that like they haven't been able to do anything good in there prior to this past year and after Conjure the Dark, because Conjure the Dark was solid, and I think they were able to pull off some really cool things in that space. So the fact that they struggled the last couple of seasons is weird to me.
Yeah, it's just tricky. I with 2 years ago with Major Suites, it like dumped you out there. I believe the
Right.
exit was right through there. Last year with Jason, it kicked you out, not in that space.
The
So
traditional space on the other side, yeah.
yeah, so it was they kind of worked that around depending on which layout or which tent they want to put in the Fast and the Furious area. But I thought it was smart. I like it. We'll see. Let's see all the scaredy cats. I liked club horror sections. Yeah, it's a nice little kind of getaway area, which is nice, which is
Yeah,
something
it's
that I
just
need every now and then too.
yeah, it's just fun. It's just gives you that feeling.
We need a beer garden at
Agreed.
Alcatraz.
I just
So
in a beer garden in general.
I I I don't know why they stopped or pivoted away from the wherever the Peacock Bar is, like behind
The one that was
on that
behind,
waterfront,
yeah,
because they had
behind
like
the
the Peacock Bar,
restaurant.
which seemed like there was a good amount of people there, and then the year after was just I think like a Fanta bar kind of thing, which nobody really went to. But I liked having something back there, so just put a bunch of stuff back there, and you could call it. You know what you could call it? Fear and beer. I won't even charge. Just give me some free discounts on beer. That's all I care about. Um, I can tell you one thing that's not going to happen. This,
Yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah, 14 or whatever dollars for a shitty
yeah,
Modelo. Yeah, it gets old quick, but
it's kind of wild. It is
that's
pretty
just
wild what they
it's what
get
we
for
sign
him.
up for. It's what we sign up for. Yeah. So that those are kind of the street experiences. Now there are two shows still shown on here. Two, both machetes. One on the lagoon, one over in that Fear Factor stage. So I think it's completely speculative right now as to what is happening. The lagoon show. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It could be something similar to last year. It could be something similar to like that first couple
I know what
years
it's
where they
gonna
pulled
be.
IP stuff.
It's
What?
gonna
What are we
be
thinking?
it's gonna be water, lights, and music.
That's a good guess.
I think it's a great guess.
I'd say pretty spot on. I'd say there's a good
Yeah,
good chance that you're right there.
yeah.
It's,
I mean, I'm glad you bring this up because somebody did ask in the chat a little bit before.
where's that? Okay.
Do we think that Nightmare Fuel will return, or will they change it up? As much as I think all of us want them to switch it up, I have a feeling that we're going to get Nightmare Fuel again. As long as we have lines out the gate for it an hour and a half before the next show starts, they're going to keep doing it. And as long as the Fuel Girls come back, and as long as they can get the performers to sign up and get the music for it, I think you're going to have Nightmare Fuel until we show that we don't want it anymore. And I say we just as in general, like everybody that goes to Horror Nights. I mean, until the interest isn't there, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah. So there's a couple things, and these are all rumors. He said, she said, whatever. Um, the contract of the Nightmare Fuel or the Fuel Girls, I think what last year was like the last year. Doesn't mean they can't do another contract. So that's got people kind of guessing. And I'll pull this up here. This is something we have not talked on an episode about, um, but I have seen going around. Rumored Ted show going around, and that is Ted the Bear. Not,
Excuse me.
not,
That's
yeah,
well,
uh,
insert
uh,
fart noise because I
yeah.
can't do it right now.
I saw this rumor going around. I put about zero stock in that. It's just, sure, maybe. This is like what people were saying last year. There was a rumor last year that there was a Harold and Kumar show. I come on. There's some stuff that just doesn't pass the sniff test.
I just feel like
That's
I
one of
don't,
them, I think.
and maybe this is just a personal opinion. This is just a hot take from of my own. You can all hate me for it. I feel like the Family Guy humor, like Seth MacFarlane humor, is so passé now. Like I don't find Ted as funny as I did 10 years ago, whenever the
No.
first movie came out. So it just to me, it would not fit here at all. And I know that everyone says, well, they did Bill and Ted for how many years?
Hmm.
But I think that's different. I feel like there's a different there because at least like in the movie they introduce like there's a little bit more to it. I
Well,
don't
they
know. I
had
just feel
time
like
travel. They had all these crazy
yeah,
characters. Ted is just the talking bear, which I haven't really watched the TV show. I loved Ted 1. And then, kind of like you said, with the Seth MacFarlane stuff, I completely forgot how extremely repetitive he is. I watched Ted 2 and I was like, damn, I think I heard this joke before. And it's just a Family Guy joke that he like took from himself, like from a different medium.
yeah,
So it's like Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland Show, Ted. Like there's like two, they take two jokes and spread them between the four properties.
yeah.
I'm like,
It's just
okay.
I think I just it's just the random cutaway gags they get so old after a while, and I just don't see how it fits at Horror Nights. And again, I'm usually the one that's like, let's do things different, but this is one thing I don't think I can go to. I can't get on board with. I
Yeah,
just can't.
it
I
just
would
it
rather
never
them do Nightmare Fuel again.
yeah, it never passed the sniff test for me. It just it's coming early. It's such a fucking out of left field idea. I mean, maybe it comes, maybe it works, maybe I'm wrong. I just don't buy it at all. It's just it. I don't see where the dots are connected for people to say or
Well,
think
it's because
that.
it's on Peacock. I think at this point,
Yeah,
anything that's on Peacock,
I mean,
people will
shit. Then
immediately
we'll have.
go,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like then we'll just get Alan Cumming to come host a show, the guy from the Traders, because that's on Peacock too. He can have a Traders themed show where people come out in the Traders garb, and Alan Cumming has a different outfit for every single set. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes as much sense as Ted making whatever nonsensical
I
jokes.
think we should just get Tim Robinson to come do a,
Right. Well, that's what it seems like. Like, might as well just
you know
do
what I
it. I
mean?
think you should leave show. It's the
Right?
same. It's
Yeah.
this for me. It's the same thing. So who knows? Maybe. Let's go this because this kind of plays along with this as well. It's maybe it is like a Ted just kind of roasting and kind of poking fun at horror. Um,
I mean, that would be funny, but I don't. Again, I don't see the correlation. Like Chucky made sense because he's an actual character from a horror movie. Like
yeah.
Ted's just a
It's
random talking teddy bear that Seth MacFarlane had a wet dream about one night
yeah.
and was like, "I'm gonna make a movie about it," and it
And
worked.
does it have the power still?
I
Like
don't
when
think
did
it
Ted
does.
one
I don't
come
think
out?
Seth has that kind of power. I mean, when's the last time you were like, "I'm down to see a Seth MacFarlane project"? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No.
and again, this is no shade on Seth MacFarlane. I think he's a very smart dude. He's very funny. I enjoy his stuff. But now anything he does that's not Family Guy, all I think about is, oh, it's a teddy bear doing the Peter Griffin voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's yeah.
it's Seth MacFarlane as a cowboy doing the Peter Griffin voice. It's or I should say Brian voice because Brian is him. But point is that I don't know. I don't want to go on a tangent for an hour and a half about Ted the teddy bear, but sorry if anybody was looking forward to it. I'm just not, I'm
Yeah.
just not looking forward to
And
it.
the
If that's
movie
what's
came out in
gonna
2012. I know the
yeah.
TV show is current.
2012? God
I
damn.
know it is wild. Um, yes, David S. Pumpkins made perfect
Made
sense.
more sense than
He's
Ted.
an absolute icon. Do. Yeah. Um, yeah, makes perfect sense. I loved it. I love David S. Pumpkins. That was one of my favorite skits. I watch it multiple times a year. And yeah, I mean, it also fit because it was now if we had like Peacock Bar again and Ted was there, that kind of is the doorway. That's sort of the
Yeah, that
bridge.
would make kind of sense if
That
it was
makes a
like
little bit more
if it
sense.
was like more of a Peacock show and they incorporated different characters from Peacock, I would be more on board with it, but just to have like Ted invades Horror Nights. Okay, cool.
And if this would be really if this was also like an additional show. I don't know if like if they do a TED show, I don't know if it's big enough to
Ted
do
versus
at
Vegas.
Fear Factor. That's like horror makeup. Like that would be a good starting point maybe, or animal actors or Born. But like Nightmare Fuel gets fucking packed. If they replace that with Ted, I'm curious what probably nobody in here watching, because in here watching is like the diehard HHN people. We're talking HHN February 17th. But what would the general public say? Like
And
what would the
that's, I think that
outrage
was my
be?
next point was going to be, I don't know if, like, everybody says, like, well, I want something that takes away from the house lines, and that's fine. Nightmare Fuel does that. I mean,
Yeah.
again, for as much as the diehard community like us tends to like be bored with it already, that is what's going to suck away a lot of your normies. I mean, you're
We
going to have
go
a line an hour beforehand around the corner for the show, which will help take away some of the house traffic. I think if you put something like Ted in there, I don't think you're going to have as much. I don't think you're going to have as much people being
Yeah,
pulled
I'd be
from the house
curious to see
lines. I
what
just
that
don't.
the power is on that. Like, so we'll see. People do want. I mean, there are people that do
Yeah,
want
and
this
again,
rumor,
if people want it to be true, I mean, good.
and I'm
I
curious.
like when they bring in stuff people want. I mean, I don't like when they do things that are too outrageous and too not for the crowd, I guess. So if people are clamoring for it, well, who am I to say no? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just
like
one guy.
I'm not against. I'm not necessarily against this whole rumor. I just don't really buy it quite yet. Like I mentioned when we first started talking about this, the whole people were talking about Harold and Kumar last year.
Yeah.
That seemed like a very
And that would, to
weird
me,
like
that would have made even less sense than Ted.
yeah,
Like
oh
I would
way
almost
less.
rather have had Ted than if you had said, "Hey, you can have Hal and Kumar," which again haven't been relevant since like the mid 2000s, or Ted. I'd be like, well, at least Ted's a Peacock property. It's an NBC property. It makes kind of sense to have him in the park. I mean, I wouldn't be wild about it, and I probably wouldn't be clamoring to go see it. But I mean, I could I could understand it.
Yeah,
Harold
so
and
we'll
Kumar
see.
makes next to no sense.
No,
I
but
wouldn't have no idea where that was coming from.
I mean, we don't even have scare zones just yet, and houses are
Yeah.
going to be flipped around. The last thing I'm going to take, as a set in stone is a show rumor right now. So I feel like those are tricky to kind of nail.
Sorry. I'm laughing at the comments as they
The
come through.
There's one I was trying to pull up. I was waiting until we were gonna
I
segue.
mean, again, you've shown him a couple times, but Ronald, he makes a good point. Beetlejuice has been given before, and that has comedy, and that's true. I agree. Beetlejuice is definitely that comedic. He's more that funny, haha.
Hmm.
But again, it still lives in that comedy horror world, or in that off the off the beaten path type of world. I don't think Ted exists there. I mean, I get that it's a talking teddy bear. I understand that part, but like, I still don't see how it fits. Beetlejuice would make one. I would love them to bring back a Beetlejuice house.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a
Ted,
Beetlejuice show.
Ted will pull as many people as the Lagoon Show, so maybe 20.
I mean, facts.
Yeah,
Becca's got a point.
they do need to. They whatever they decide to do with shows, they do need to hit, right? Because you can't have a big anniversary year where seemingly year after year these crowds get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't think you're at the point to take a chance on a bad show or something that doesn't draw people, right? Because if you do
Right.
that, if so say in this hypothetical world we replace Nightmare Fuel with a TED show. Okay, is it going to be as popular year one as Nightmare Fuel? Is it going to have people waiting outside for 30 minutes to get a
Probably
seat?
not.
I don't know if it is. So that will just hurt the house waits because people are just going to bypass that. Until maybe reviews come in. And it could be better. It could be like a Bill and Ted. It could be just as good of a show. But that first year, Nightmare Fuel too, it wasn't nearly as popular as it is now. I mean,
Because I mean, it takes a minute for people to
yeah,
kind of warm up to things, and this is the rock and the hard place that Universal's always stuck in. It's like we can change something, and then piss everybody off, or we could keep it the same thing and piss everybody off. We
Yeah.
can't win either way. So, I mean, let's just try something new. And I think that's what they should do. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily want them to bring Nightmare Fuel back,
Yeah,
because
I'm
they
good for
have done
something
it a
different.
bunch. And I like Nightmare Fuel. I enjoy it. I like, to me, if they're gonna do some sort of show, it needs to be like it has been, an acrobatic show that mixes music and horror in a unique way. Does it have to be, you know, what do we call it? Like sexy acrobats or something like that. I forget what we
Sexy
call it.
horny fire.
Yeah, horny fire, sexy shows. Like it doesn't have to be that. Like I'm not saying it has to be like that, but it definitely has to be something like death defying. Like it
Yeah.
has to be their version of Cirque, essentially. It
Grand.
can't.
Yeah.
I don't think it can just be, you know, have a comedian come on stage for 20 minutes and make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. It just pulled me back. It pulled me back. I had the comment I wanted to pull, and I got to scroll
And
back
one
up.
last thing, the Lagoon Show. I want them to do, if they're gonna do monsters again, I want them to do a Monsters Lagoon show instead of a house.
Mm,
That would
that
be
would
my
be good.
thing.
All right. This is a good transition because it means nothing to anything we were talking about. But we need the people to keep rallying for this cockadoodle doom being a full-fledged haunted house.
Yep.
It will never die. Cockadoodle doom will never,
Because here's the
ever
thing: if they
die.
ever did that, you better believe the Cockadoodle Doom shirts would be out in
Oh,
force.
fire. Fire.
Fear and beer Cockadoodle Doom shirts. Fear the cock. Fear the cock. There you go.
I
We might do
prefer
that
live-
anyways.
Yeah, well, maybe we will. Party music commentary. Yeah, I mean that's fine too. That's it's something that's fitting.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get crass. It's only a Tuesday night, Seamus.
Is it Tuesday? Fuck. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my weeks are way off.
Well, we don't usually record or go live on Tuesdays. It's a little weird
No,
to be.
it's a little different. All right, so let's jump into these houses because there's some interesting stuff. I've seen and heard a lot of different theories, and I'm just curious to see what we can kind of dig up. Let me polish off this one. Alrighty, I think we're ready. So, soundstage number 22. That is the returning image that was on the previous Christmas map. It is a little Jack in the Box with a little elf helper guy. So, I think the long-standing suspicion is that it is Jack and Oddfellow. I don't know. We've talked about this a lot. We've honestly talked about Jack versus Oddfellow since whatever that was, 32. We've said that, at 35, that's a collision course just waiting to happen. I guess if you had to pick, Seamus, would you pick Jack versus Oddfellow straight up? Would you prefer just a Jack house? Would you prefer Jack versus Oddfellow with teams of like new versus old icons?
I mean, you know how you know my feelings on Jack too.
Yeah.
I am not a Jack the Clown fan. I understand why he's popular. I understand the importance that he is to most of the community and the event as a whole. I just don't. To me, it's just I can take it or leave it. But I mean, if they are gonna do it, I would like them to incorporate Oddfellow, create more lore, give him more backstory, open that up a little bit more. Because obviously we got a whole event based around him, but I don't feel like they gave us enough real backstory to it, to him as a character. I think we got a lot of things kind of like between the lines, but nothing that was too solid um, or whole. But I would like to see kind of how he ties into that Jack and the Icon story. So if they were gonna do it, I would prefer just to kind of like Jack and Oddfellow. Don't throw in too many. Don't do an entire Icon's house. We've done that already. Kind of focus solely on that. And plus, being technically like an anniversary year, it's 35, right? So, I mean, it would make sense to have something like this because we are harkening back to 35 years of HHN. So that would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much what I've been saying and hoping for years. The closer I get to it, I'm kind of more with Seamus a little bit now. I think if you do include all of them, these big teams, does it get a little messy? Like, does the story not completely convey of what's going on, and it turns into just kind of like like a
Well, I don't think in those
obligation
houses. I don't think
to
there
throw.
is in those houses there really isn't a story. It's just, hey,
Correct.
let's give everybody their moment to shine, and that's kind of what the Icon's house was in 30. And I think that was a that was good for what it was. Like that's what it's what you expected, is you want to give everybody their own space and let them kind of be their own character. But there was no overarching story in any way. It's not like doing a scary Ohio house, which kind of is its own story, its own world. The icons don't really work like that. So my thought would be, if this is going to be a Jack house, then make the whole event Jack and Oddfellow,
Yeah.
and have it be like HHN35, the something carnival or carnival from hell, whatever the hell you want to call it, but like have
Yeah.
it be like a Jack and Oddfellow event altogether.
Yeah, I think so too. And so say we do this. It's Jack and Oddfellow. Are you a little let down if the other icons aren't somewhere else at least? Like, do you want to see other icons sprinkled about, whether that's a scare zone or maybe there's like a mystery house in here that's like other icons?
No, I don't think I'd be let down. I think I would be relieved. I don't. I think that if you try to fit too much in, it gets too overwhelming and it's hard to follow anything.
Hmm.
Um, and again, I'm newish to the event still. I mean, again, I've been going since 2019 now, but still, I feel like that's new compared to a lot of people in the community. People have been going since they were kids, been going since the beginning. uh, I think you can harken back to those events where you had one icon, and that icon was that's the reason they're icons, is because they were the icon for that event. They were the big bad for the event. They were the ones that kind of were luring you to the event, and everything was based around that one character. I just don't think you need to fill with this whole idea of bringing like, everything together. I know it's the Marvelization of everything essentially. Like Marvel kind of thanks Disney. Like Marvel kind of screwed us with this thing where it's like we need to have every character ever created all at once because everybody gets everything, everybody gets what they want. It's like, no, stop, don't do that,
Yeah.
because now it's too much. And
Yeah.
I would rather it be, if you're not going to do a new icon, pick one or two and stick with it. Like give me Jack and Oddfellow or Jack and Chance. Don't give me Jack, Oddfellow, Lady Luck, Usher, Director, everybody. I don't need everybody.
Yeah. Just
Um,
kind of like thrown in there.
you know, pick the one or two that work together, that fit together, and then base the event around them.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so I think the last one didn't have any. I think at 30 because we had, if you're referring to, I think it was called 30 Years, 30 Fears, and it was just kind of like the red
Oh
billboardy
yeah.
pictures. Yeah, that one was, again, I think, no, they kind of figured out that front entrance a little bit better last year, um, zone
So they
wise,
learned
but
their lesson. Yeah.
yeah, but the previous, like, since probably 30, it's been fairly lackluster. Um, but at 25, they did have the zone as well. I think it was just called Icons. And I think some of them were in there. I don't think it was all of them. I think it was like Caretaker, Director,
Are you talking
Usher.
about the house?
The zone at 25.
Oh, I
There
wasn't
was
there for
also
that.
a zone called like HHN Icons, I think. Um, so yeah, the 30 Years, 30 Fears one was a little disappointing. I'd if we could not get that and we could get a zone with some other icons, I'd probably be okay with it. I mean, shit, I would just take an icon show, just put them there.
Yeah.
Um, I think that would be pretty fun. Let's see. Where there was another comment that I really liked and I wanted to make note of somewhere. Um, let's see. I can't find it. But otherwise, somebody brought up the whole point of it would be cool if it was like a different. Each cast was like a different winner. So you'd either
Mm,
have like a Jack winner or an Oddfellow winner, kind of like how we had icons captured, where there was a different icon on the throne at the end. So
yeah.
I would like I. It depends what they go storyline wise, because if they're like trying to usher in this new era, and maybe they are done with Jack, or at least for a while, like maybe they decide to kill him off. Like finally, because that was originally the plan. I think in 2001, I think the plan, or at some point, the plan was to have Eddie kill Jack and kind of take over. Now, who knows if that was supposedly a forever move or not? It could have just been like a 1 year like shock of like, oh, Jack's dead, but he's not because he can come back whenever he wants. But if they are wanting to usher in a new era, usher, no pun intended, and they want to like do away with Jack for a little bit, and they have Oddfellow kind of winning the house, I don't know if you'd want to rotate winners. You'd want to just be like, all right, Jack died. Um, oh here, oh damn, this thing keeps moving around. But yeah, so there's that. We don't really talk Hollywood because we don't go, so there's really nothing to make note of. But I do know that on their map, they also have a similar icon. The little guy, I think, is a different color, and they have a little icon over there called Hollywood Harry. So people over there are speculating they're getting like a Jack Hollywood Harry house. So it's Jack's kind of all over the place, and as Ronald points out, Jack is also in Vegas right now. So you could hit the Jack triple if we play our cards right this year, and he is in all these spots we think he is. So let's
Right. But
you know
I'm of the opinion that I think it's a lot of wishful thinking. I think we see clown or we see Jack in the box and we initially think, oh, Jack, clown, Jack the clown.
yeah
But I'm also not 100% sold that it's not going to be some sort of other just original idea. I know we
thing
just
yeah.
had Dollhouse, but I mean, do we have some sort of Christmas themed house or is it, end up being some sort of like haunted toy type house?
It is weird that they chose to keep the same Christmassy theme of some of these icons, where some of the other ones are not so much changed.
Right.
But
And
I
granted, again, this is a third party thing, so we got to remember that like these are just
yeah, not
this
set in
is
stone.
speculation. Who
Rumors.
knows what this ends up being? But I think Jack makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, I don't think we can just necessarily assume that it immediately means Jack the Clown.
Yeah, I am taking not this for like 100% certainty, but being the anniversary, I am pretty confident we'll see Jack in some way, shape, or form, just because. Just because. Same kind of thing with Oddfellow. Like I'd put Jack at like a 95%. Oddfellow I'd put at like an 85. Like I'm pretty confident both of those will make an appearance. The other ones are more up in the air, but we'll I guess we'll see in 6 months or so. So let's move on to that next one. That is, we gotta pull up Soundstage 23A, and it looks like a little book on fire. Now, I am the one that kind of pops around on social media, and I kind of look at stuff here and there and whatnot. Seamus usually goes into these blind, so I like
Yeah.
to see what his opinion or thoughts are. So, does this even scream anything to you?
It screams a lot of things, but not necessarily Halloween related or Horror Nights related. Still pretty scary though. Uh, oh boy. I mean, how dark do we want to get here? Because I mean, my first, I mean, if my first honest thought would be like hell, Bible burning,
Yeah.
Satan, like that side of it. But then again, I, book burning, I don't know. Like that is a good question. I'm not really, I don't know. I mean, my mind does not go to great places when I see burning book symbols. That's about it.
So the thing that people have kind of attached themselves to and ran with is this is referencing the Necronomicon, and it is a new movie that
Uh,
is coming out, Evil Dead Burn. So that comes out in July, I believe, late July.
uh,
It is a Warner Brothers movie. I don't know much about what
gotcha.
this movie is. Um, we were supposed to have Evil Dead Rise. Obviously, that transitioned into Hellblock Horror last minute, little switch up. I think the movie got bumped, so that's why they had to quickly flip it. So without even knowing what Evil Dead Burn is about, I can't really say whether that's good or bad. I think I could do without that house. I thought Evil Dead Rise was fun. I haven't gone back and watched it, so that shows how much I actually cared about it. But there's another thing that I was thinking about that I don't think anybody has talked about, and that would be, and this is what I had to pull it up because these are the years that I didn't go, but it stood out to me as what if this was something along the lines of the school or the schoolhouse,
Mm,
because I believe in the Cary, Ohio house, I mean, that was the room that was on fire and burning.
right, the schoolhouse burned down in that house. Yep.
Yeah, because you got that smell in there as well. This was a zone turned house. I think the house was at Tales of Terror back in '05, so that would be 15. This is something that Jamie has wanted and talked about. Now there have been no rumors relating to, the school or the schoolhouse, but being that it's a little book and it's on fire, like, I mean, if we're gonna just put pieces together because the movies burn and the, Necronomicon or whatever that is, it's a book. There's no symbol on this book. If you zoom in, it's
It's
just a
just a
book.
book, right?
So
Yeah.
there's no like definitive this is what it is. I think that would be cool, and that would make sense for an anniversary year. Kind of like we said, dusting off some of the old hits. It was at a tiny bit at 30, so it's big enough for them to at least call back to it. So it's and there is so we'll see. It is on, like they're saying in here. It is on the Hollywood map as well, so that does
Right. So it's
signify
probably an
IP.
IP.
But it is early. Things can shift. I just this rumor kind of popped out of nowhere, right? It wasn't even referenced on the first map. Still February, so it's
I
we'll
also
see.
take very little stock in that first map because everything is Christmas related because they're trying to be cheeky.
Yeah,
So it's hard to really know what any of it really means. So now we're starting to get some actual, like, I think more concrete imagery here, but
yeah.
still, I mean, the Dead Knight, what would you say, Evil Dead Burn thing would make a lot of sense, especially if it's an IP. But
Yeah, and if they built up that relationship prior to it getting pulled on our side, then maybe maybe
yeah,
no pun intended, the bridges weren't completely burned. So maybe they're like, hey, we know at that point this sequel might have already been in early pre-production or
you're
something. They're
right.
like, you know what, we'll catch you on the next one. Sorry.
And sometimes it's just that they can't get rights done in time, and at some point something gets pulled, and somebody says something on the corporate side and they said, "Oh shit, we got to pull the plug on it." I mean, probably no hard feelings type deal. So it's like, like you just said, we'll get you the next thing that comes out. And like you said, they probably already knew that this movie was in the works at some point down the road because that's the way Hollywood is these days. Like, I feel like they have 7 sequels already written by the time they
Mm,
make the first one. So
yeah, this is an interesting. That, the Resident Evil fanatic in me is saying Keeper's Diary, first game. Also, I mean, I think I've only played a couple of these, and I've still stuck on four. I haven't. I'm like 2 chapters away from beating it, and I just haven't gone back. But I do think you log like when you save. At least in four, you save on like a journal entry, like a
it's a diary.
typewriter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that could also be something there. Um, and like you were just mentioning, we had the Christmas map, and then this one. I still don't even call this version one. This is just for me a little Friday the 13th special. It's not,
Yeah.
they don't have version one on there. That's when I start taking stuff a little bit more serious.
Right.
I know the rumor season like starts faster and faster every year because of the way they
Starts
have to get rights.
during
But
the current season.
yeah, so like I know
They're already
that
talking about
stuff
next year.
starts, but it doesn't mean I'm going to buy in just yet. So this one's a question mark as well, because it seems random. There's some other IPs that we're going to talk about that we've been talking about that make sense. Evil Dead Burn doesn't necessarily make 100% sense to me just yet. But we'll see. I'm curious if I don't think there's a trailer out yet. If I could do some digging, I might be able to see what the see what this thing's about. I can do without Evil Dead. Would much rather see SO. I don't know what SO is, but
I don't
I can
either.
also do without Evil Dead. I I love the Evil Dead movies. One and two are just bizarre. Army of Darkness is insane, but I know they had Ash versus Evil Dead. It gets a little repetitive for me.
Yeah.
I'd probably still enjoy it. I enjoy most houses, but if I got to pick and choose my own way, I don't think that would be on the top of my list. Let's see. Oh, I thought this was way behind already. This isn't version one. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of that's for Horror Night Nightmares to say. The first one was like Christmas themed. This one's Friday the 13th themed. It doesn't. Usually they'll put like version one, version two, version three is usually their final as we get closer to late July, early August.
Right.
Last year they did like an Easter special, which like I didn't really count those as like their numbered ones. So it's user discretion, I guess. Um, so yeah. So we haven't gone through all the rumors yet, but there is seemingly not a big paranormal demon house. Maybe this is that. Who knows? We'll find out. So let's move along now. Soundstage 23B. That is the upside down grandfather clock. That was also on the on the Christmas one. This is probably a shock to just about nobody. Um, Stranger Things, I think, is about as close to a lock as Jack the Clown, being the fact that it's been here three times previously. Its final season just finished. It's arguably Netflix's biggest property of all time, especially original. And we did season one. We did seasons two and three together. We did season four. I Why wouldn't it be here? Why wouldn't
Yeah,
it be on an anniversary?
there's absolutely zero reason them. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for them not to do it, but they're not gonna do it either.
Correct. It's a winner. It's a proven winner. Whether you think the houses are good or not, they eat people regardless. So, Stranger Things 4 house was, I think, fun, but not like the best thing. I think the 2 and 3 house
I'm just not.
was,
I'm not looking forward to 3 hour waits. That's the only thing I'm not looking forward to.
and I love Stranger Things. I can do without a Stranger Things house. I can.
Yeah.
It's just I've seen it. I love the property, but I've seen it three times. Which what if you want to see it again? If you want to kind of be a completionist, that's I get it. Um, but kind of the bad taste of the fourth house was a little bit iffy. A couple, let's just say, weird choices in that house. It left a little bit of dead space. I don't know. It just wasn't executed as good as I thought they could have, especially with how good that season was. And that season, I think, had more stuff in it for a house versus five. I think there's less to play with in five. It obviously still can absolutely be done. I mean, you have a great big bad, you have a great little cast of characters that you can station throughout it. But if it is here, I would kind of be happy that the Stranger Things run at HHN could potentially be over, just because once you've done it all, I mean, do you need to go back to the well? I mean, maybe in 10 years you could redo and do like a compilation house. So I can't say it'll be the top of my list. I also didn't. I have to. Stranger Things is tough because I want to rewatch it, but it's a fucking like 14-hour season. Like,
Well, it's like anything. Like there's so many things out there that just I don't want to go back and rewatch 5 seasons of it. Like it's
no.
good, but there's just too much to consume and not enough time to consume it all.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, the season itself, like the 2-hour episodes, like it's cool for viewing, but as far as like rewatchability, like I'm not like, you know what I want to do? I want to watch Stranger Things 5 for 15 hours right now.
Yeah, and the
Like,
thing is to me like, and again, this is not supposed to be Stranger Things talk, but unfortunately, it's on the goddamn spec map, so we have to
here we
talk about
are.
it. Um, I've never viewed Stranger Things as a horror show. I've always viewed it as a coming of age story with
Yeah.
supernatural elements to it. Very Stephen King minus all the weird, like kid situations that he likes to put in his books. Like it's like it for like most for a lot more audiences.
Hmm.
And I've always looked at it that way. and it's a really really great show. I've never been one to be like, I need to see this in the house. Oh my God, I need to see this in the house. Like, I just does not scream horror attraction to me at all.
Yeah, no. This is a little off topic, but still interesting. Anyone think an 11th house will come? I mean, I think at
Uh,
some point.
I think we wish it will, but
I don't think right now. I still think we're a few years away, unfortunately.
I'm also, again, I've said it before, I don't think they're ever going to do an odd number of houses. And if they have in the past, I don't think they're going to do it again.
Yeah, they do. I don't know the history
If
of
they're gonna
jumps, but
if they're gonna expand houses, they're gonna go from 10 to 12, and I
yeah,
just don't see that happening.
yeah, I'd like to. Maybe at some point. I don't know. It's tough to say because I don't know what they're doing. They have so many projects right now they're juggling. Lost Continent needs to get reworked. They're obviously putting in the Fast and the Furious ride. They're going to be getting rid of the Fast and the Furious ride. They're going to be expanding Epic. And then who knows at that point what Simpsons and Marvel look like. So I
Right.
feel like budget for 11th and 12th houses are probably near the bottom of the list for them just because it will put people in certain areas, but like how much more money will it bring into the event? There's
Right.
nights that sell out already, so like you can't sell more than sell out. So we'll see.
And
I
they'd have to bring in one or two more of those new tents, and where do they put them? And
and do you reclaim old locations? Like can you
right. And do
still
you
put a
really? I
tent
mean,
up?
maybe this is just me being maybe me being Seamus. I mean, this is just how I am. But do I really want them to have an excuse to inflate the ticket prices even more?
Yeah, yeah, right,
You
exactly.
know what I mean? Like, do I really want them to have that excuse to say, all right, well, now instead of paying me, 275, $300, now I want 350, 375.
Freaking 450,
All because they've
500,
added,
like,
right. I mean, do I really want them to do that?
because I'll pay it. I don't want to. I'll pay it. I don't want to. But even Express, right? If you got frequent fear with Express, it's gonna be like $2,000.
And that's just it. Like everyone thinks that well, Express won't go up, but yeah, of course it will. Like everything will go up.
Yeah, so that's a double-edged sword right there. Let's see if we get this one up. I have not heard any other rumors what the
I
upside
haven't
down
either.
clock could be.
But then again, I don't look at rumors, so
Yeah, Seamus hasn't heard any rumors
I don't
actually.
have heard any rumors. I know rumors I hear are coming from this guy right here.
Yeah,
But I mean, to be
I
honest
don't
with
know.
you, like, is it worth even discussing other rumors about an upside down grandfather clock when Stranger
I
Things
don't.
5 came out this year? Like, is there
Yeah,
really anything else to discuss?
yeah, I don't know what else it could be, if
I mean, I'm
anything.
sure there are other things you can come up with, but it's on both spec maps, right? It's a dual coast icon, like
Yeah.
a image. It's the biggest thing to come out this year or this past year in streaming, and it's a massive end to a massive show. I can't imagine it would be anything other than Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's
Like if
that's
they
tough to
don't do
say.
Stranger Things at an event after a big season comes out, I just don't. They've done it every time. Like, I mean, every single season that's come out, they've done a house.
Yeah, it makes too much sense for it to like not be here. So, we'll see. That's kind of the waiting game right now. Let's see. What are these other comments? Yeah, people are hoping this is kind of a red herring. Yeah, it's definitely not worth 3 hour
No,
wait,
I
that's
agree
for
with you
sure.
there. I'm definitely not waiting 2.5 hours for that. But if Freddie was any indication last year, I can't imagine the waits are going to be much less than that.
Yeah. Be certainly wild to see what the hub looks like. Yeah, I'm curious what the layout is going to be for these houses, because it's really going to be determined by where they are in that construction. So it's
Yeah,
I don't know how it's going to be, kind of laid out at that point. And yeah, I'm in the same boat. If I'm eye to eye with Vecna, I don't. It doesn't pass for me. It's kind of a. It just they're supposed to be these big, foreboding character that's just gonna tackle you, and it's just that wasn't it. Did you guys ever do the upcharge experience that made a few years back? Maybe it was kind of like escape room. I think it was built around electricity. I never did that.
I didn't either.
I have an idea of what you're talking about, but I don't think I was around at the time for it. But I
Nope.
did not partake in that. Sounds kind of cool
I
though.
did not.
So let's move along then. We are at Soundstage 24B, and this is a paw print of sorts. Now,
It is a
let's.
puppy paw print. It is a
I'll do
dog print.
do the little search again because I think I pulled it up, and I was like, is this a cat or a
Oh,
dog? Because I
it's a
couldn't
dog.
really. Yeah, that's. I
I
think
can
it
just
looks a
I
little
can
bit
tell by
bigger.
what. No, it's a dog.
Yeah, so a couple different things that popped out to certain people. Does this shout anything out to you at all?
Ooh. Werewolves of London. Sorry, I just that's my first thought. Is this a dual coast or no?
That's a great question. Let me check. I didn't even save the Hollywood map because I just didn't even think of it. I think it might be, but let me just
Ryan, don't even
double
put
check.
that out into the world, man. Come on.
Devil dogs.
No,
I
no. He said
oh
reference to the Naughty Dog logo,
oh yeah
which would
yeah
be getting Last of Us too. No,
yeah.
don't give them any ideas,
I
dude.
don't see it on Hollywood's as of now, so
So it's
could be
probably a
original.
original.
Yeah. So let's see. The biggest things that popped out. If it was a cat, could be like a cat lady reference.
It could be, but I'm
Um,
90%. I'm like 99.9% sure it's a dog print.
yeah, I'm in that boat as well because it looked a little bit bigger. Havoc, Dogs of War.
Yeah, I think we did. I
So we
think we
talked about
talked about
Havoc.
that at one point.
Yeah, previously on one of the older maps, there was like a wolf logo, which was the team logo
Oh
for
yeah,
the
that was the
Huntsville
hockey
Havoc.
logo. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like the Havoc team or whatever.
yeah.
Shout out Havoc, whatever team you are, some hockey league, some minor leagues or whatever. Um, so it could be that, and then it could just be a straight up original of animals of sorts.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple different varieties of that. I think was it Jungle of Doom where they were supposed to be like morphed animals or something like
Hmm.
that.
That was the Oddfellow year. Yeah,
Wasn't completely played out, but it could be
was not
something like
sold on
that.
it one bit,
Yeah,
but that's a
it
different
could.
discussion to have.
Yeah, so some kind of hybrid house.
Yeah.
Maybe, and this doesn't look like anything in this world,
Did
but
we get an Animorphs house for all
yeah,
my Animorphs readers?
Animorphs.
90s kids shout out. Let's go. Sorry, I'll stop.
Could be, could be. I saw people talking about a potential like horror zoo or something like that. I don't see a reference to that. I would have put a cage around it if it was a zoo reference, but that's just me.
My guess is because it's a single paw print, it's going to be very specific. So I think my first thought is werewolf of some kind. I mean, I know that it's a little bit of a stretch. Dog, werewolf, too. I mean, they're similar, but they're not the same thing. But I think that the Havoc Dogs of War thing is also a pretty cool like twist too. I
Mhm.
think that is possible because that is something they have they've done in the past. They're known to do either sequels like direct sequels or pseudo sequels or inspired by previous houses, like obviously with Scarecrow and Pumpkin Lord Wicked Growth.
Wicked
So
Growth, yeah.
I think it could be something like that where we get like a callback to Havoc, but something somewhat different than the original.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so we'll see. Cocaine Bear, that would be sick. This is an interesting one. So Devil Dogs from Slaughter Cinema. I mean, it's the same way we're getting to Havoc Dogs of War, you could get to Devil Dogs. So there's
yeah,
nothing that says one or the other. So maybe that would be cool. They've been pulling a lot of Slaughter Cinema stuff in the last
hmm,
couple years, a couple people have mentioned that Not Scary Farm did a maze called the Zoo this last year, I think, and seemingly it is received very well. So, I mean, It makes sense if you not that like I would say, I guess they are. If you're in a business, you're in a competition. Why not look at the competition, see what they're doing, and kind of put your spin on it. See if you can either outshine them or, or whatever. So I'd have to. I'm kind of curious. I might have to watch some walkthroughs on that and see what actually they're using it. So
Yeah,
we'll
because I've
see.
never seen anything. I mean, I've seen stills, and that's about it.
Yeah, I am shocked we haven't gotten a Wicked
I
Growth
am
2
also
love yet.
shocked.
Don't count it out. It's not even version 1 yet. So
Yeah.
let's
As long
we'll
as we don't
see.
get farting pumpkin lord, I'm all set.
Right. Um, yeah, if it was the Devil Dogs, I'm curious.
Oh,
Puppet
true.
Heavy. I
We
think they
we're not
could.
puppet fans here at Fear and Beer.
No, same. Same. I would hope that they would take the Yeti route and just do those big costumes and just kind of give them
Yeah.
some leather jackets and stuff. Devil Dogs. I remember Devil Dogs was also rumored a couple years ago on one of the early maps. Might have been like 31, 32 or something like that. And I was pretty interested in that. That would have been. I'm curious if you could do a full house. I'm sure you could. It would obviously, I think, be the comedy house because how can you take like biker, demon doggy kind of people, bar
Yeah.
rats, um, at like serious? So well,
I mean, I did. You think you made a comment? I did see that like bear was also brought up, and I think that it
mm,
potentially could be a bear print. Usually the bear prints have the claws, but
mm.
um, I mean,
Especially grizzly
yeah,
bears. I was watching Alone season 15 or season 11. There's a
I
lot of
would
grizzly
like.
bears.
I mean, I would like them to revisit the, what do you call it? The cryptid
Could be
um,
cryptid.
theme. I don't know if we. I don't think we did. We didn't really have a cryptid house last year. I don't
No, it's
think.
well, kind of Galkin-ish, not
Yeah,
really
kind of
cryptid,
with
but
Galkin
like
a little bit, but Galkin I think was a little bit
folklore-y.
more folklore than cryptid. But like I would like them to maybe go back and find, do something like that. Not necessarily Yeti again because we've already done Yeti twice, but something else, something different, something new from a different part of the world. Like I'd be down with that. So
Yeah,
if it's something bear related,
yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, no, I
no,
haven't.
I have
You
not.
haven't. I think Dogs of War was at 20. I didn't start going till 25.
Yeah, 2019 was my first year. I did not come once when I lived in Mass as much as I wanted to. I was poor and could not afford it. But
Yeah, I
now
was
that I live here, I do go quite a bit. But yeah, I did not get to do them. We have talked about Havoc though before, and a lot of our spec maps that we've done our own like wish list maps. So
yeah.
I think we've seen things, we've read about it. It seems like it's a pretty cool idea. Um,
It's
so
one that's like interesting to me because like when I'm thinking anniversary, and I think the general consensus is in this same area as well. If I'm thinking like anniversary, like all time hits, my mind doesn't immediately go to like Havoc, Dogs of War, or Havoc Derailed or anything like that. Cool idea, but it's not like one of those properties that I'm like, oh, they need to do this, versus like what we just talked about Wicked Growth and stuff like that. Even previous houses with like, I know we just had Hatch and Chains, but like Ghost Town, Scarecrows, like those like heavy hitter names where it's like I could see why they would do an additional one. Havoc seems like something they would slip into like another compilation-y style house. But if they are doing a full-fledged house, it's a interesting choice. So they might. I don't think they would do it if they didn't have a good idea. So we'll
right.
I will trust them. That's for sure. Let's see. Cocaine Bear got a manicure. That's why you can't see the nail
Oh,
prints.
gotcha. Okay,
He got his
gotcha.
nails did. He's showing up and he's showing out.
He didn't get his
Uh,
nails that he chewed them off because he was high on coke.
yeah. If they're gonna do a cinema slasher again, they're better ones to pull than the Devil Dogs. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, you're not wrong, but I do think that's a very fun, ridiculous concept. So I, I'm open to it. I mean, there's a lot. Slaughter Cinema 1 and 2 have given us, I mean, what, 25, 30 properties if you're counting like those posters and stuff too, because
yeah.
Cat
And we don't
Lady
know. I
was,
mean, we don't know how many, you know, rooms from those houses get left on the cutting room floor too that they can pull
right,
from.
yeah.
So they could
Uh,
have
it,
hundreds of ideas.
there's a lot. That's why I think Slaughter Cinema is like one of the perfect examples of something that could come back pretty frequently without feeling like it overstayed its welcome because it's always fresh
Right.
ideas. So it's not you kind of know what you're in for, but not, you know. So I'm cool with that kind of having a mainstay presence. So let's move over now. Soundstage 24A. It is the same reference that was on the Christmas map. It is a little pin cushion with pins sticking onto it, or a little hat with pin cushions, which
Yeah, it's a pincushion.
is the longest standing rumor that is still kicking around. That's Hellraiser, something that I don't know how familiar you are with the series. I'm not the most knowledgeable on it.
I mean, the series as a whole, I mean, most of
It's a
it's
lot.
most of
There's
it's
a lot.
trash. I mean, the first two movies are classics. I mean, Clive Barker is a genius. I did watch the new show. I should say new. The show that came out a couple of years ago. It's on Hulu. It was pretty good. I mean, it's a nice little callback to to the movie. But obviously, it's very much its own world, its own thing. I mean, I feel like if they're gonna do Hellraiser, it's a tough property because, for one, the subject matter isn't exactly mainstream. If that makes any sense. I mean, a lot of the
A little
you know,
taboo.
well, it's I mean, even for 2026, it's pretty damn taboo. In the sense that it's all about fetishizing violence and pain and pleasure and pain all being one and the same for people, and it's definitely a unique idea for a movie. And I said the same thing about Terrifier going into last year, that I'd be surprised if they pull it off, and they did. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled this off, but it's just a hard theme, I think, to make work. And I hate to use the term family friendly, but whether you like it or not, this is be kind of quickly becoming a family event in a lot of ways. So it's hard to basically take a I mean, best way I can look at it is like porno gore is kind of how I it's
Yeah.
kind of how I is how I like describe these movies, because that's basically what it is. It's all about sex and pain and violence, and for a lot of people that's an interesting story. I think the story is really interesting. Like the movie's really interesting. I just don't know how you make it work as a house, other than it just being like Pinhead and various, torture rooms, and you just kind of leave everything else pretty vague, which is probably obviously something they can do. Um, but I just don't. I mean, is Pinhead, is that character really like a massive, you know, I guess my point is like, is he is he relevant? Like, do people even know what it is? Like, obviously, I
So
think a lot of the
yeah.
hardcore fans do, but like, is a normie really gonna be, oh, I gotta go to Pinhead? Are you serious? Oh my God! Like, yeah, I just I don't know. I mean, I think that the Cenobites are pretty, are classic. I think they're recognizable. I just don't know if that, in 2026, that people are really giving a shit about the
About
Cenobites,
Pinhead, yeah,
about Pinhead and the Cenobites.
I think because he is in that upper echelon of recognizable horror characters, it will still always kind of be like, oh, you know what would be cool? Hellraiser, Pinhead. Like I get it. He's kind of like an iconic. I put him on like the second Mount Rushmore of horror icons. Obviously, the first kind of just being like, Jason, Michael, Freddy, Leatherface. I think that second tier's got to be like, maybe Chucky, Pinhead, Candyman, and you know, Ghostface.
Right.
So,
But I feel like if I'm picking between Hellraiser or let's just say Candyman, I want Candyman. I
oh,
think
I would
Candyman
take
is
Candyman
overdue.
easily. Yeah,
I think to me, I think it's a more palatable story. It's more, people can relate to it. I think more. I think it's a bigger draw. I think, especially considering the remake or the pseudo sequel, the sequel that came out not too long ago, few years ago at this point. I think with the art style that movie took, I think could fit really well. I as much as I enjoyed the Hellraiser show, I just don't think it's as I don't know. I just don't think it's as big of a
like the
draw.
name. Yeah, I'm curious. Like I think we talked at the top of this with the game coming out. I'm curious how popular that will
Yeah,
be.
that's true. Yeah,
If they think
true.
that'll boost it a little bit
Especially now
more.
that they're kind of like in the gaming world too. I mean,
Yeah,
with a couple gaming houses now. I mean, I
Fallout, Last of Us,
yeah,
Five Nights, technically.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I think if it had officially been at Horror Nights as like a full house before, I don't think it would be as much of a get. But because it has sort of been one of those elusive, whether they've tried to get it and couldn't, it just hasn't been there as a full Hellraiser house. I think it fits the void of like OG horror for me.
Yeah, I do want to respond to one of the questions about like the family friendly notion. It's never made sense to people, and I get that point. Um, I understand that point, but I think again, remember, this is the United States of America. We are very desensitized to gore and violence. I
Especially
think
here in this world.
yeah, I think that for a lot of people, violence is kind of just normal and like doesn't bother many people. But I still think, as backwards as it is, we're very behind and very sheltered when it comes to the idea of and sex and violence mixed with sex. And I think, unfortunately, Hellraiser is very much in that world. I mean, Clive Barker is he's a very different type of dude, and he goes to very dark places in a lot of his writing. So if you're a reader and you've read a lot of Clive Barker stuff, you know what I'm talking about. And I think I think that part of it is where there's still a taboo here. And again, I'm one of the ones that's like, I don't understand it. It's 2026. Can we finally get over these taboos? But I think that's the part that I'm struggling with. Like Terrifier, I just figured, I didn't think they'd be able to tap that level of gore and make it work, and they did. I just think Hellraiser, it goes beyond just the gore, and like yeah, like Becca said, it's just one step further than Terrifier. So, I, true, I think that's true, but I think it's just if you remove that part of the Hellraiser story, I don't think you're left with much because that's the whole idea behind it. That's the whole double entendre that's going on in Hellraiser. So I don't know, but again, that's just my opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot
Yeah.
don't shoot me because of my opinion. But I mean, I granted, again, I would like to see it. I'd love to see him there, but I don't think it's going to be a draw. And I don't think they're looking for properties that are going to bring crowds in, like we had
Yeah,
last year.
it's interesting. It's an interesting pick.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion, and
Yeah.
I know that we kind of jump. Well, come on. I mean, why wouldn't it sell you, Brian? Let's please.
Oh,
Um,
the sex is selling me on a house we haven't talked about yet, and we'll get there when we get there.
uh, but I mean, and again, we're jumping again. I think much like the Jack image, we're jumping to conclusions because it's a pincushion, and we think pincushion, pinhead, you know. But I
Makes
think this
too much
could
sense at this point.
right, but this could also be a few other things too. There's a lot of different ways they could go with this because obviously pincushion also entails other things. Creating things, making garments, there's a little different ways to go here. And again, with that being said, obviously, like, with the grandfather clock, I'm like, well, what else could it be? It's got to be Stranger
Yeah, right.
Things. I just don't see, like, again, the Hellraiser show is what, 2, 3 years old at this point. I understand there's a game coming out, but I find it hard to believe that an indie horror game is really going to be that big of a draw. I think Resident Evil would make more sense because it's a bigger property. So, I, but I don't know. I guess I've been proven wrong before. So,
Yeah, all right. And we'll be proven wrong many times to come. That's for sure. I'm curious. So thinking best of Hellraiser type house, would you want it? So like, say we do get this, say we get Hellraiser, whatever. Would you want like Hellraiser one or like series or what would you?
I don't think it needs to be based on any of the movies. I think it just needs to be the character and the
Play the
various
best hits?
Cenobites and just doing torture rooms. That's really
Yeah.
kind of all it can be. Because again, everything after two is forgettable. It's just a It's just a forgettable franchise. I mean, the first two movies are great, but everything after that are take it or leave it. A lot of it's trash. Like a lot of it's like super low budget trash.
Yeah. I I selfishly want it to just be say Hellraiser one, so I can focus on one movie versus trying to watch fucking 11 movies worth of content and possibly tapping into the game. So I guess we'll get there when we get there. Brian's comments, I'll just put them now because I'll forget about him when we get there. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. That was what I was referencing.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave that there.
Just kidding. I was hacked. Yeah, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Um, so yeah, so I think let's move along now to the next
I can't
one.
even see what this is. I don't even know what the hell this is.
So it took me a little bit to kind of
Is it
zoom in.
intestines?
So intestines, it looks like blood and guts.
Oh, HR
So
blood and guts.
potentially, pretty heavy-handed clue right there. But yeah, the potential return. This was also a rumor last year for a little bit. There was like a rumor for like that Cary, Ohio TV radio show kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that could be something. We haven't seen him really in a little bit. We saw him in the Welcome to Scary House in 2021, and then at
Mhm.
the his house, the HR Blood and Guts Holidays of Horror. I think that was in at HHN 21. So it's been a little bit. I think it's very cool. I'd be very down with this. Like this is the stuff I kind of think about like when we talked about Havoc, where it was like, does is Havoc that first thing you think of? Maybe not. HR Blood and Guts is kind of always on the radar of like, you know what would be cool? Let's bring him back. Let's do something. I think I'd love to see it. I don't know how. I don't really want to see like a holiday kind of based thing again. What I don't know how they would do an original version, but essentially original of like Late Night with the Devil, where he's like the talk show
Yeah.
host and like a show gone wrong and something like that.
Yeah,
So
that would be cool. I think if you did like HR blood and guts, but like have it be like the like that talk show theme, but then have it
whatever
be
that is,
like
70s or kind of.
but have it be like an aftermath to a massacre or whatever happened, whatever is you're exploring whatever happened after the show kind of like had a big its final moment. Like have it be kind of like Late Night with the Devil. It's like our last show. We're going out with a bang, and it literally is like a bang, and some sort of massacre happens, and you're kind of going through like the audience area and the backstage and the stage itself, and that I think would be really cool. The only taste I've got of Blood and Guts is from the Scary House. I didn't do the original one, so I don't really know much about him, other than the fact that I know he's some sort of like radio jock or TV
Yeah,
jock, TV host.
he's kind of like a local horror shock jock kind of guy. And then I think the first one, it was a lot of like, I'll pull it up because I didn't get to go to that one, but it was a lot of obscure holidays, much like they had references to in Scary Ohio. But I think they did like Arbor Day and St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, so Valentine's Day, Independence Day, Easter, Arbor Day, St. Patrick's, President's Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So there was
Yeah,
a lot thrown in there. So I'm cool with it. Bring it back. I don't think you need to actually, and this is pretty much exactly what I was going to go with. I don't think you necessarily have to call it a sequel or like a remake. Just a kind of continuation of his story. Show him as like a talk show host. I think that would be
yeah. I don't
fun, and
think
maybe
I think
his
he's
past
kind
comes
of
back to haunt him.
he's kind of at that level now where it's like he's not again like Universal says like, oh, if he's an icon to you he's iconic. He's not quite an icon, but he's enough of a character that you can just theme a house around him and it can be solely original. It doesn't have to be a direct sequel or some sort of like tie-in to the original or anything like that. It just needs to be the character and then put him in a situation that would make sense, like a talk show host.
Yeah, yeah. And this is. Oh, I had a thought and then it went away from me. But okay, came back. Kind of like Oddfellow, right? He's had more of a presence than Oddfellow did. But Oddfellow was in the Jack story like all along at HHN 10 when they had that first house with them involved. Like Oddfellow was in the zeitgeist. He was in the
He's
history,
always been there.
but wasn't really expanded on. It was just kind of a name.
Yeah.
Obviously Blood and Guts has had his own house and an appearance in Scary, but like I don't feel like he's been super fleshed out in person yet. So there's a way to kind of dust him off, and you could kind of revamp some stuff if you really wanted to. And I don't think it would really cause, an uproar. Like if you did something like, you're not going to do it to Jack, but say somebody like Caretaker, right? Like he's been around. We know his history. He's had multiple zones and houses. His story has been told. If you brought Caretaker and you're like, actually, we're gonna change him completely. Like, here's a different story. Like, it wouldn't make sense. Blood and Guts is kind of like you have the groundwork laid and you haven't completely built up to that second story yet. You can still adjust and course correct if you want and kind of zhuzh it up. It doesn't have to just be a holiday horror movie based house. It can really go in a couple different directions here. And I think that would hit kind of our Cary, Ohio thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a quick comeback. Usually they don't come back to me at all till a couple days later, and I'm left like, what the fuck was this thought about? But yeah, so I'd be down for that. I know Jamie will be really happy when we discuss this on one of the episodes. It makes me nervous that it is so early. There's been a couple times in the past, whatever, 5, 6 years of us doing this where we cover Spec Map 1 and I sort of fall in love with something and it just
Yeah. You
disappears.
you convince yourself something's gonna happen and you get sold on it, and then you're like, it's not happening. God damn it! And
Like,
you
what the
forget
fuck?
that it's actually
You promised. You
you
promised
forget
it was
you forget
happening.
that it was a spec map.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is nothing confirmed. But yeah, so I'm down for that, and that's something that I think, seemingly, if it is Fast and the Furious, that's something that can be there. This isn't something that needs, grand scale. It doesn't need to be this giant atmosphere of a soundstage or one of the big new tents. I think you can make this kind of in a close quartered style house, and it would be fine. And it kind of could fit a similar vibe of Major Suites, where it's sort of like gross, maybe not industrial, but like, we walked through Major Suites and it felt like it made sense. It still felt like we were going through a candy factory or whatever. You went through the offices, you went through some testing grounds. You could do that with like a radio station or a TV station. You could walk by, some sound booths. You could walk into the set. You could walk by a couple PAs that were killed by cameras. You could have people strung up in electrical cords. Like it could still make sense.
Yeah.
HR Blood and Guts presents Isn't This Scary? I like it. That could be the name of the whatever TV show he wants to host this time around. So yeah, I'm on board. I hope we see this on the map for a little bit, and I hope it kicks around because, again, on an anniversary year, this is what we kind of want. We want at least a couple of these callbacks to HHN history and lore, and that's why we love it so much. So let's move. HR hosting Run. Now that would be a fun combo as well. Run was like this like horror. It was like a TV show based house. I think 25 was the last one. It's like Fear, Run, Sweat and Fears or something like. I don't know. I don't store everything up
Like
here.
the Running Man.
But yeah, it was a fun little game showy kind of thing, and I think each room had like different countries.
Oh, did we lose him again? Oh boy. Is he gonna come back fast enough? I can't do this by myself. There he is. He's back again. Oh, can't hear him. There he
Oh.
is. Now I can hear him. Now I can
Quick
hear you
little
now.
clip. All right, I'm back. Yeah, sorry.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, fuck it, we're going. But I think there was like different countries and stuff. Like you had a chainsaw Canadian room, and stuff like that. So yeah, that'd be cool if he was like a game show host now. Because again, that doesn't really alter him that much, right? Like it's still in the same world that
Yeah,
you
he's a
could
small
see.
town. He's a small town disc jockey. Like he's gonna host everything. He's gonna be the guy that does all the different presenting and that sort of thing. So it would make a lot of sense if he was on like local access television doing some stupid game show. So
Yeah. So, alrighty, let's move along now to tent number 4.
oh boy,
2 cigarettes and a lighter.
oh boy,
We've talked about it before. Potentially sinners.
sinners.
That's
Do
what
you
the
think it's gonna
streets.
happen?
That's what the streets are saying.
Is
That's
it a
what
dual
the.
coast? Is it a dual? Is it on both maps?
I believe so. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
I'll double check to verify, but I'm about 99% sure this is on
All
both.
right. Well, then that's a good question. Do you want this? Do you want this? I know we love the movie, but do you want this as a house?
I'm nervous. It is on Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous about this. brought up an amazing point. As long as Haley Steinfeld is spitting in my mouth, then I'll take it. Um, Sorry, Josh Allen, but um, that's just what it is. This is a tricky house to pull off. We talked about it. I don't know how you pull this off completely as a full house. The story is probably the biggest part of the movie. The characters is that's huge. Each one having their own kind of, I don't want to say conflict, but like their lives are coming to head at this point, and it's such a big explosion story wise because of the past relationships that they had and the people that they knew. I don't think we're gonna be able to fully sense that by walking through a house. I don't think we're gonna walk through a scene where Michael B. Jordan is making sweet love to what's her face in the little like
Harry
magic
Steinfeld.
shack.
Well, first of
Yeah.
all,
Well, the other one,
he
Wu
wasn't
Mei
making
Masako.
he wasn't oh, you mean when they were
Yeah.
yes. I thought
Yes.
you meant
Yes.
because Haley Steinfeld, they were not making sweet love.
No.
She
I was
was
angry.
she was
That was
yes, it was
Hellraiser
very
sex.
angry. That was I hate you. That was yeah. But no, this would actually 100% have to be beat for beat from the movie. Like it has you would have to do scenes from the movie and have it fit like match almost. I don't think you could take this and kind of do your own spin on it. It would
No.
have to kind of just be major beats from the movie and then have characters in there that you recognize, have the vampires. And I think you kind of have to focus on the last 40 minutes of the movie where it kind of turns into that vampire movie because I don't think it makes sense, doing just the more like the story elements, the story based stuff, the family based elements. I think you can't, it doesn't really make sense to put that in a house. It has to be literally just start from the whiskey joint and then go from there, and then just do it
Yeah.
from that point forward. I think that's really what you have to do if you're going to do this at all, and then have like the whiskey joint, the church, and the shootout, and various different things. But I mean, if people were upset about Fallout, I can't imagine they're going to be too happy with this.
This is yeah, it's just interesting. Like you said, the last 45 minutes is all I have in my head for what would be in this house, and I don't. Is it enough? Is the juke joint enough? Would it not get repetitive? I don't know. I mean, maybe they put us outside too. Like maybe you get like because I was trying to think of different scenes that you could do. Like, would you have like a scene with like a cornbread character where like he's out taking a piss? Like, is there like a long hallway that looks like just trees and fireflies, and you hear the voices like whispering to you as you walk through it, kind of
Yeah, I
like
mean,
like Quiet Place, like that intro? You could do like that. That would be pretty scary.
yeah,
I
I mean,
like
it can
that.
go in and out. I think obviously you could potentially have a scene where it's simulating the outdoors and it's a bunch of the vampires doing like the Irish dance and like having the Irish music playing and like have that and then have the actual juke joints. The more I talk about it, it definitely has to be a music heavy house because the movie was very music based. It was very based around music and the idea of blues and the idea of early early blues music, and I think that's something you would have to incorporate in this. And kind of like with the Beetlejuice house, where I think we were supposed to get that big, you know, music scene, that music number, but obviously because of COVID, they couldn't do it. But I think it's the same idea here. You're gonna have those big musical numbers, the big musical scenes. I I just don't know if you have enough here. I really
Yeah,
don't.
and the fact that it's been kicking around for a while is kind of leaning me into maybe this is something that's happening. Um, and yeah,
Brian, I'm with you there, dude. My ass would be shaking too.
not familiar with Sinners. Something worth watching.
Yes,
100%.
yes,
100%.
yep. Watch it,
It's
watch
gonna
it.
be. I think it's got 16 Oscar nominations, most all time. It probably won't take home many of the big ones, but it will put a fight up. That's for sure.
It should
Um,
get. I mean, is Michael up for
Best
lead
actor.
actor? Is he up
Yeah.
for best actor? He probably
I
won't
don't.
win it, but
No,
he should. I think.
that's gonna go to Chalamet for Marty Supreme.
Oh,
I think
yeah, it's probably
it's
gonna go
either
to
him or
somebody.
Leo. I think
It's gonna go to
Chalamet takes
Chalamet,
it. Timmy
pretty
Chalamet.
boy.
Yeah,
Can't have everything, Timothy.
everybody's new
Sorry.
favorite. I've definitely, I mean, even in our comments, we're seeing a lot of mixed for this, and I think a lot of it is from the same concerns that we have too. Like it's just, and if they announce it and they say it, I still have to walk through it to see exactly how they pull it off. It's you know, it's a delicate movie. It talks a lot about real life issues, but it doesn't kind of beat you over the head with it, which is kind of nice. You just soak it in, and it's just
Well,
tricky
because you
from a
don't, it
setting
shouldn't, it
perspective.
doesn't have to. That's the thing. Is like it's a movie
Yeah,
that it doesn't
it's
have to
just
beat you over the
brilliant.
head with it. It just makes sense because it's life we live. It's everyday life. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's definitely a movie that's worth it. I just don't know if it's I don't know if it's a house. I don't know if it fits as a house. And like Brian says here, I agree with you 100%. If Darkest Steel didn't exist, I think this house would be maybe more palatable. But I think because we've had Darkest Steel, like how is it going to be any different?
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky. Yeah, so a lot of
Agreed.
people. It's a, you know, sometimes just because something's good doesn't mean it has to be a house. You know, we kind of get this every year, right? Where there's like, this is, you know, the hot new horror thing. It's got to be a house for horror nights. Sometimes it doesn't have to be, and that's okay. You know, this is just a brilliant movie as is. I don't think it's necessarily 100%, but you know, I'd be interested. I'd still be happy to go through it. I would just be completely nervous until I got out. That's the big thing for me. It's just how do you pull it off, and are you going to pull it off in a way that does the movie justice because it deserves it. So I think that's good for Sinners Talk. I probably already got flagged for tongue asking for Haley Seinfeld to spit in my mouth, but
Highly, highly Stanfield,
Highly Seinfeld. Um,
highly
Tent
sinful.
3. Tent 3. It is two skeletons dancing.
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 Ooh,
What are
interesting.
your thoughts on this? What comes to mind for you?
That is a good question. My initial thought would be something along the lines like maybe this is where we get we like to call it cultural horror because there's always like a house that like might explore themes from something that's not traditionally American or traditionally from the States. I do kind of think uh, like scary Coco, to use a Disney
Okay.
reference.
Yeah.
Something Day of the Dead related. Dancing skeletons tend to be that way. Um, trying to think. I mean, I guess it could be a musical artist of some kind. I just don't know who specifically because the music I listen
S-
to will never be represented
Yeah.
here. So,
So the big rumor is kind of coming around from something that was sort of quickly rumored last year, and that is Lady Gaga. Um, she was
oh boy.
quickly talked about last year as like a dead coconut overlay, which I personally
Hmm.
think fits a lot better. I think that the idea stems from because she had the new album Mayhem in last September, I think it was, and
Yeah,
one of the singles was The Dead Dance. So like it fits that
that's such
image.
a. I mean, yeah,
That's a
but it's. I mean, it's not a stretch. It's just so generic. Like the Dead Dance. Okay. I mean,
I
yeah.
mean,
Uh, I don't
I
know.
listened to a
Like,
band in high school called The Dead Art of Dance. Like, are they coming with a house too?
right. And like, here's the thing. Like, Universal is a massive company. They are a huge, huge company. Do they have the? Do they actually have? I guess I don't. I have to be careful the way I ask this question because they obviously did with the weekend. But do they have the pull and the the ability to pull someone like that? Like, she's a global superstar. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm one to be like, I would be down for it. I think that's cool. I think I like when they give kind of out of the box ideas a chance and they give some out of the box thinking. But I would rather them have done Billie Eilish than if that's the case. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Billie Eilish, at least at one point, seemed like someone who kind of lived in this world. Now she doesn't, but you know, at the time she did. Um, at least the weekend kind of did, and like that album was very dark. I don't know. it's been done before. It can work. I don't know. Like has she done enough in that space to really make it make sense? Again, if you're gonna do that, get someone like Poppy to do a house. Because
Yeah, right.
Poppy definitely lives off of that visual, lives off that type of imagery. A lot of her recent music is very dark and abrasive. So I don't know. I guess so. I would be more apt to believe this is something more along the lines of like Day of the Dead and more traditional. But
Yeah,
that's just my thought.
yeah. This one, maybe it's because I am like just like a early spec skeptic. The whole Gaga stuff for me doesn't pass the sniff test. I talked about that before with the Evil Dead stuff. It just feels weird, especially when
Feels
they
like a
went from
stretch.
yeah, like it's early. I'm not gonna put too much stock into it just yet. I don't know enough about Lady Gaga to like really comment on her on if she
Well, I
fits or
mean,
not. I don't know her vibe. I
yeah,
know,
I don't know.
but she's with American Horror Story. I know she was in Hotel.
Yeah, she's
So
been
I
in
know
a
she
couple seasons.
dabbles in the world.
She's been dabbling in like that side of things when it comes to like movies and movies and acting. But again, if we're talking Gaga as like her
Gaga.
music, like I just don't see it because she's more of just a traditional pop star.
It's just it's just 7 rooms of her crying after Bradley Cooper hung himself in A Star Is Born.
Jesus Christ.
That's one of my favorite movies. I don't care. I love it. I mean, I know Gaga more as an actor or an actress than a artist. I don't really listen to Gaga, but shit, I loved her, and she's an amazing actress. She transcended the whole singer into actor,
Yeah,
kind of
well, she's
deal.
an artist. She's a really good artist. She's a complete artist, and that shows in a lot of what she does. Again, I have a hard time believing she's gonna lend her talents to a Halloween horror attraction. But
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I don't know. I could
it is one of those things.
100%
Like,
be
is she
wrong.
too big? Like, does she even
I think she is. I mean,
is
it's not
she even
obviously the
making this
same
decision?
level, right? I mean, this would be something like this would be like an agent going to her and be like, "Hey, you know what's a really good idea? Let's put a house together for horror nights."
Yeah, or like they just
Because
ran it up the
there's
wire and they're
not
like, yeah, sure, do it. That's fine. Cool.
I just I guess again it's one of those things that like I feel like the person has to be an existing fan of the event. Like it came out when they were talking about Billie Eilish that Billie Eilish had been going to the event as a kid. She loves the event. She loves Halloween. She loves all that stuff, and it fit. It made sense, and she was probably willing to put the effort into doing it. Rob Zombie, he's a movie director. They could, you know, make the movies work. His music has always been very based in classic Halloween and in horror and in that world. Gaga has never been known as the horror artist, if that makes any sense. And
Yeah.
again, The Weeknd wasn't either. And I concede
Correct.
that
Yeah.
point. I concede that point. But I think the difference is that whole record that they based the house on was kind of based on a lot of horror, like horror, or at least more darker, scary themes, real world themes, but at the same time still based in a darker underbelly of Hollywood. And I think that's kind of why it fits so well. Plus, again, it came out, leading up to the event that he was a fan of the event, and I think he approached Universal, didn't he? I think wasn't that the story?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Either
Who
way,
knows? Who
I
knows?
thought I had heard something at one point that he approached them, but maybe I'm just making something up. I could be making something up. I tend to do that. But I still think that fit. Gaga just seems to me like she's too big. She's not Taylor big, but she's big. And and
Huge.
and,
Yeah.
and I don't disagree that she sells tickets. I think people made the point that like, well, she sells tickets.
She would.
100%.
Yeah.
100% would sell tickets. I just don't know if I just don't know. I find a hard time. I have a hard time seeing it. That's all.
Yeah. They say Gaga is on the Universal Music label.
True, but I still don't
I
think that means
guess
anything.
I think it's two kind of different conglomerates. But if there is some sort of connection, like we said, maybe somebody's like, "Hey, Universal wants to use whatever for a house. You cool with that?
Right?
Yeah,
You
sure,
cool
do
with it?
whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Like just I have
Right.
other stuff to worry about."
It just comes down to what because they can't necessarily even if she's on the Universal label and they own her, and they own the
the rights for
whatever
the
you
album or
the
whatever.
yeah the whatever they are, the tapes or whatever, she still has to get some sort of you know some sort of royalty for it. Like
Yeah.
they can't just use it. Like there has to be something that she's given. So can they afford that? That's all. That's the only thing I'm asking. Is I
And is
just
it
think that
worth it, right? Like, yeah, can you
right. I
sell
just
as
don't
many
think
tickets as is worth it?
what it's going to cost to use that. Will they make it back? I mean, I guess maybe, but they're talking that they spend millions on these houses to begin with. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
how much more can you make?
Right. I mean, we're talking speculation in February, so
Yeah.
what am
So
I to say?
who the fuck knows? This is a good point. I doubt we get two IPs together. Um, yeah, I mean these locations. Yeah, we kind of go by location on the map, but I don't take them for for anything at this point because they do shift around a lot. We didn't really compare the Christmas one to this one, but stuff has kind of already rotated
And
a
I
little
also
bit.
I don't think they even they know. I don't think Horror Nights Nightmares knows much about where things are going to be. These will move throughout
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah. That would be Heavy Metal Hell 3D,
Heavy Metal
which
Hell.
is
Yeah,
kind of something I am thinking of, because it's not here on this one, but on the previous map there was the skeleton kind of rock on symbol.
that's true.
I think
But
wires, yeah,
Devil Horns
wires
is
might be
very
getting crossed.
yeah, because Devil Horns is very different than ballroom dancing,
Yeah, but I think
dirty
maybe
dancing.
if they're thinking musical artists, music, yeah, I am more apt to believe Heavy Metal Hell 3D
Yeah,
versus a Lady Gaga house.
yeah, I
Um,
would see that.
so I don't think that is completely
I
off the
just don't know
table
if they.
just
I
yet.
mean, do they go back to the Slaughter Cinema well that
I,
quickly?
yeah, because we went from Slaughter Cinema 2 to
I guess
Hatchet
my
and
point is
Chains.
are you that creatively dead that you need to pull from your Slaughter Cinema house like year after year after year? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because
Like it was
yeah, because like I know those are testing grounds, but that's the point. Like we haven't seen it kind of come back so often, right? We had Slaughter Cinema 1, and then we had Yeti Terror of the Yukon, which was kind of an offshoot from the Slaughter Cinema room
right,
of it, the Swamp Apes, I think it was at that point. But then we had Slaughter Cinema 2, and then the year after we went Hatchet and Chains and Cat Lady, which were both pulled from that
right.
iteration. So, we shall see. Let's see. I think we're pretty much caught up. All right. So next up, we have tent 3 or tent 2, and this is a little alien wearing a cowboy hat.
Men in Black confirmed.
Yeehaw!
Make it happen.
Men in Black happening. This is a Paul house.
Sugar water.
This is Paul with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I'm on a mission from
Oh
God. Tell
God.
him you failed.
Oh, not my favorite Simon Pegg
Oh my
and Nick
God.
Frost movie.
Not my favorite, but still a good one. And Seth Rogen plays Paul. Um,
Can't
I
confirm this is not on our movie episode list. Just so
no,
everybody knows,
we didn't put
Paul
Paul
is
on
not
there.
on it. No.
All right, so there's a lot of different things here, which is funny
Cowboys versus
because
aliens.
that's the biggest thing people are saying.
Nope.
Cowboys versus aliens. I have a hard time believing they're going to touch the Western theme after doing Hatchet and Chains 1 year previously. Western isn't something they've done so hot and heavy and
Yeah,
back
but
to the well.
I mean, everybody was very much. There was a lot of positive review, like a lot of positive things coming out of Hatchet and
Hmm.
Chains. So I don't think it's impossible that they go back to the same type of theme. It doesn't have to be like Western, spaghetti Western, kind of like what Hatchet and Chains was. This could be more aliens versus cowboys, and not necessarily in a particular time period or based in the old West, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It could just the hat could just entail, like, I think someone just said invasion. It could just entail like something like that, like aliens live among us type thing,
Yeah.
and they're like
It's
and they're mixed in with humans.
Yeah, I'm very curious where they go with this. Um, we very wishfully on our guest map put sci-fi original just because I do feel like it has been a little bit since we've had that, and you have like all these main tropes, right? Like last year we had Western Original on our guest map, and it panned out in Hatchet and Chains. It's just like there's these subgenres of horror that do get recycled here and there, and it's been a while since we've had that like sci-fi style house. Off the top of my head, I mean, we're talking scare zones that I can remember the most would be, and people are all about it in the comments, Invasion. That's a big one. We also had Seek and Destroy, which was I would classify as sci-fi.
Mhm.
So,
What was
I
the
think it's time.
what was that deep that like underwater house we had in 2019?
The Depths of Fear
Depths of Fear, which kind of had alien-esque type,
ish.
like underwater alien type
It
things, I
touched on
guess.
it.
It's a little sci-fi,
Yeah.
anyways.
So I'm hoping maybe. So the whole cowboy hat thing, it puts you towards the west, but like maybe not western, because like you're thinking New Mexico Roswell. Like, what if we
Yeah,
had like an Area 51 based
right.
house? That's still in the west, so like maybe that's just kind of maybe hint hint wink wink towards the location of where it is, and maybe not so much of like it's a western house.
Yeah.
Um, it would be funny if the cowboy or if the aliens were coming out with cowboy hats and like yeehawing and whatever, but that would be
Line
very
dancing
much a
aliens.
jokey house. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm excited. The fact that a little alien head on here is very exciting. I just rewatched Signs for the 1 millionth time the other day. Um, like just do something like that. It's fine. Just do Signs. Bring M Night Shyamalan in and do Signs. It's not gonna happen, but something in that world, right? Like you, very classic alien UFOs, crop circles, like that classic, tall, slender, greenish alien guy.
Yeah,
I'm
the
in.
little gray, the tiny gray man or the little gray man or whatever.
Yeah, like I'm in
Yeah.
on that. There's a couple comments here of actually back-to-back comments, same exact thing. Legendary truth, legendary truth. Could be. That'd be pretty cool. What if you bring back Boris and he's like investigating some little sci-fi mischief? You never know.
This
I'd,
could
I'd
be, I mean, remember,
I'd be down.
aliens are known to abduct cows, so it could be something based in, the southern part of the states where there's lots of cows and aliens tend to like steal cows. So maybe that's why he's wearing a hat.
A little Texas invasion, just
There you
like
go.
A-Rod
Exactly.
says. Similar. Yes. So I don't think the cowboy hat is, for me, signaling like cowboys. I think maybe it's more the location of where this house takes place. I don't know. This is a original that again because it just popped up on here. I'm not going to sell myself 100% on it just yet, but it does excite me. It really does. But yeah, last location for houses. This will be tent one. This is this is where Jamie really would have come in handy. I see scissors, I see lipstick, and maybe like
It's
a
makeup.
mascara
Yeah, it's makeup.
applier. Yeah.
Yeah, there is
Um,
a mascara, there's lipstick, there's
the little box,
blush.
the mirror thing.
It's blush, and then like the trimmers, like hair trimmers.
Yeah, you got two girls here. You should know this stuff.
So it's basically TikTok influencer, the scary house story,
Yeah.
right?
So what people have been saying, and there's two things.
This is the Lady
Um,
Gaga house. Gotcha.
that yeah, could be. Um, Vanity Ball making a comeback as a house call up, which is
Oh,
something we've talked about previously in Scare
don't
Zone to Houses.
hate that idea
No.
one
The
bit.
only thing that makes me a little tricky, and this is something we talked about with the Lady Gaga house, the weekend the weekend house was had similar vibes to Vanity Ball. Like with the whole like, makeup-y grotesque
Yeah, a little
figure.
bit. Yeah, I could see that. I think there's enough there that's different that it wouldn't necessarily feel like a copy.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it also could be something 80s related to, and I don't know why I don't know why I think 80s off the bat, but it just some reason I just think 80s.
Mhm.
Um, But Vanity Ball does make too much sense. I think that just is there enough there to make a house out of it? That's the only thing
Yeah,
and I'd be
I
worried
think
and
you
I'd be
could.
concerned about.
Going through the underbelly of whatever that, kind of secret ball is, where they're just capturing people and you know, torturing or however
Yeah.
you want to put it. I think there's enough there to pull. Very elegant, very classic. I'm very in on this again, kind of like the alien thing though. I'm not going to put all my eggs or I'm not going to count my eggs before they hatch. I'd be very down for it. We've talked about Vanity Ball before a lot when we've done, what would we call up from scare zones to houses. This has always been on the list for us, so I think it would be very interesting.
And
The
call it
other
Vanity
aspect,
Ball, the price of beauty.
yeah, there you go. The other aspect that people have noticed and picked up on is on the lipstick is a little yellow sticker. You
I don't know
can't
how you can
see.
see that.
Yeah, you got
I
to zoom,
can't
zoom,
see a
zoom, zoom.
goddamn thing.
You can't see what is on it, but you can kind of tell it looks like one of those biohazardy
Ah,
kind of things. A lot of people have been trying to make a connection to BuzzCon, something that has been pretty frequent in the last, gap of anniversary years.
hmm.
So I think it would be a pretty smart move if you did kind of combine it. We've seen them go from air fresheners in whenever Bugs Eaten Alive took place. What was that, like 50s?
Yeah.
50s style
Yeah, it
era?
was like based around
Um,
the 50s.
and then
Hmm.
in the Mutations Toxic 20s, they were obviously around in the 20s. So they have a couple different, avenues of income. If BlizzCon did decide to get into the cosmetics industry, could
Hmm.
it be BlizzCon that was maybe not the ones behind it all along, but like this could be side effects of whatever they decide to chemically enhance your makeup with? I don't know. I'd be kind of interested. What do you think? Do you think that would be, is that
Yeah,
too
I like
too
that
much?
idea. I like that idea. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, they just did BuzzCon last year, so do they really bring that back and tie it in the following year? I mean, they've not like it's never stopped them before, so I could see it happening. Um, Beauty influencing is a big makeup influencing, like it's a big thing. So there's a pretty real fear there, I think, that you could play off of, like the fear of getting tainted products and applying it to your face. And obviously, I don't wear makeup. I don't think I need to enhance my eyes any more than they already are.
We're
Um,
beautiful as is, natural
so,
beauty.
oh yeah, zero. My ego is the size of the house.
Yeah,
But that is a lie. Um, so yeah, I mean, I could see it. It would be kind of a cool, cheeky little tie back or callback to BuzzCon.
I'm trying to. I gotta call. I gotta not call. I gotta look up because I remember Vanity Ball had character names of like the leaders, and I completely forget of what their names were. But oh, Doctor Plasmare and Doctor Metamorph
Hmm.
is also hosted by a Madame and Maestro. I don't think there's like a year that this was placed at. I don't. I think they kind of left that out. But it would be cool to like. I mean, you mentioned 80s. I mean, we saw 20s, we saw 50s. Like, can we skip to the 80s and do like that flashy, high energy 80s vibe mixed with
Like neon
BuzzCon,
colors. Yep.
neons, just really grotesque post surgery, mid surgery, finale show. I'd be
Yeah.
very down. I'd be so down for this as a house.
Right. And I could just, I mean, I could also, I could see it I could justify like a vanity ball, just how, regardless of the BuzzCon thing, because cosmetics, these are cosmetics, cosmetic surgery. Like, could you tie it in that way as well?
Yeah.
Um, so I could see this. Vanity ball. I think you're selling me on it. I think everybody's selling me on that. Like, I think that that would be really cool to revisit that because it's been a while, and it was one of my favorite scare zones that year. So I think it's something they could tie back into.
Yeah, I think. it would be interesting to kind of mash these two worlds up. Kind of like we talked about with HR Blood and Guts and Run. I don't think they're too far apart from each other that it would feel weird or heavy-handed or forced. I think you could slide BuzzCon in there, and even if you like didn't make huge note of it, right? Like if you just had like BuzzCon logos on stuff, because I mean, I think I think in dolls wasn't there BuzzCon batteries as well? Like
I think so.
I think the
I
batteries
think it's
said
what they
like
were labeled
BuzzCon. So
as.
whatever this fucking company is, they're obviously like making multiple streams of revenue off of various products. So for them to stretch into the cosmetics world isn't that far fetched of an idea. I don't personally think. So yeah, we'll see. The down for the botched plastic surgery that would work. Yeah, the pictures that I kind of look back on Vanity Ball is like, damn, this shit's gross. I think that could work. So, but yeah, so that after 2 hours is our Friday the 13th speculation map from Horror Night Nightmares. Where let us know in the comments, where are we landing if this was the event, which it will not be. This will not be the event at 35, but where would this land for you for an anniversary year, for hype level? Drop us like a comment to let us know how hyped you are for this if this was the actual lineup. And while they let us know, Seamus, what would you think of this as 35?
I probably sound like a broken record. I say this every time I see like the first couple spec maps. I'm not wowed by it. Um, like if like again, if your big IP draws are Stranger Things, Hellraiser, and what do we say, Evil Dead Burns or whatever,
Sinners, Lady
and
Gaga.
Sinners, Lady Gaga, music artist, I'm not sold, not yet. I think that granted, I think last year is a hard year to follow. I think
Yeah.
we said that going into last year that this is going to be a tough year to follow up, and I think that as it sits right now, based on what we're speculating, what we're seeing in rumors, I think based on that, I'm not 100% sold yet. I think I would need to be convinced. I think it would be another year where the originals would carry the day for me. Um, and yeah, if it sucks, we can go to Vegas. That's true. That's true. Vegas
We have
is a fun
Scarecrow at
city,
least.
you know, quote
Um,
unquote.
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm like most years more excited for originals than the IPs at this point. We kind of talked through them, but just to kind of hit on it again, Evil Dead Burden doesn't move the needle at all for me. It's a movie I have not seen. It's a franchise I enjoy but don't love. Stranger Things 5, seen all the iterations of the houses so far, so I can do without it. If I never saw Stranger Things at the event, I wouldn't be like super heartbroken because I was able to see it multiple times. If Stranger Things had never been at the event or if I had never seen it, I'd be a lot more excited, which maybe there's a handful of people out there that are in that boat. So I totally get the hype for it. Hellraiser, it's a classic, but it's not a series that I'm like super, super adamant about. I would have to rewatch the movies, at least the first couple, just to kind of get grounded, in my opinion, but it doesn't move the needle as well. Sinners, love, love, love the movie. Makes me very nervous. The house could go wrong very quickly. Lady Gaga does not much for me. But the only thing that boosts Gaga's stock up for me is the Weeknd's house.
Mm.
I went into it being like, I don't listen to the Weeknd. I still don't. But that house was damn fun, and that line was a vibe. So I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to completely dismiss it. I don't hate it. I just don't. I'm not attached to it. Versus like last year when we were talking, we're like, ooh, there's going to be maybe a Terrifier or a WWE house. Like those are things in Friday the 13th. Like those are things targeted towards me. So like I'll gobble that up.
Right.
These ones don't necessarily move the needle for me. Now, for originals, say they stick. Say we get a Jack vs. Oddfellow, a Blood and Guts, a Vanity Ball, and some sort of sci-fi original. I'm in. I'm
Yeah, I
very,
think I
very
mean,
in.
that would be a, you know, maybe not like top three, but damn good year for originals if that's what we get.
If those hit, oh yeah, that's for sure. So far, this map is mid. Yeah, things will change, right? There's
Yeah.
0% chance this is 100. That might be a fun little future episode, right? Maybe we go back and look at version one of the past 5 year spec maps and kind of see where we
Yeah.
were. Not
As
we,
of right
but
now, we're picking at very thin straws, like everybody does when we see these spec maps and hear rumors.
yeah,
So we're just basing everything we see online. It doesn't and giving our opinion on it. I don't think there's anything here that we can say definitively other than maybe Stranger Things.
yeah,
Outside of that,
and yeah.
I don't think there's anything that's super definitive yet.
Yeah, I think the two absolute like locks, I would consider Stranger Things a lock, and I would consider anything with Jack a lock. Something with Jack. I just don't think they do an
I will
anniversary
go as
without him.
far as saying anything with an icon.
Yeah, something. Yeah, there you go.
I'm not 100% sure to say, I'm not ready to say that's definitely Jack because as somebody brought up before, um, Jack is in Vegas. They may want to kind of save him as the Vegas, the reason to go to Vegas is to see the whole Jack house, but I could be wrong. But at the same time, I will say that, I feel like an icon at 35 would make a lot of sense. An
Yeah,
icon we've seen
it's
before.
yeah. Always the originals. Gotta. They have more freedom. They can do whatever they
Yeah.
want, which is fun. Let's
We don't
see.
have Jamie on tonight to defend to defend the IPs to the
No, no,
death.
no. And honestly, these aren't IPs that really scream to her either. So I don't think she would have gone to bat too hard for
Yeah, I
really.
feel like I mean I don't want to speak for her, but I feel like she would be somewhat disappointed by this map so far.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, crazy, not crazy about the lineup so far, but it is early. It is very early. Take these all with a big grain of salt. We're not here saying these are facts or set in stone or 100% yet, but this is what the rumors are looking at currently. So that is kind of where we're at. Alrighty. Well, we covered this map in excruciating detail, I'd say, about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. So I think that will wrap us up for this live. Thank you so much for joining us on a random spur of the moment
Yeah.
Tuesday
Yeah,
YouTube
Tuesday
live.
night, just a random Tuesday night in February.
Just a Tuesday night thing. Yeah, we're just hanging out, crushing some beers. So, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, you'll be checking out this week's episode, which is going to be part two of our best 25 best horror movies of the last 25 years. Kind of the best way to put it.
Part D.
We'll polish off 20, I think 11 to 2025, I think.
2011 to 2025.
Yeah. So I'm very
It's
curious.
gonna be a
These
long night.
It's a long one, but we're gonna jump right into it since we've already
Yeah,
explained
we
on
won't be doing
episode
any
one.
explanations.
No, so we're gonna dive right in. So that will be out on Friday. We do have a lot of stuff cooking in the oven right now, so I appreciate all the patience on stuff like the Spookeasy and stuff like that. That will be coming back. It's not dead. I'm just trying to honestly. I'm trying to find just time to kind of piece it all together and everything like that. So we got a lot of stuff coming. Hopefully you stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, I'm Nick.
And I'm Seamus.
Happy haunts.